You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Waking up in a code red weather alert. No storms on the radar just yet, but throughout this morning we're going to see quite a bit of rain push in, a lot of lightning, and the chance for severe weather. I'm tracking it in the forecast.
Fox 17 News continuing to follow the breaking news updates from Sumner County, where we now have an Amber Alert issued for this missing teenage boy with autism. We'll take you live to Hendersonville for the latest updates.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Wednesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We have a code red weather alert in effect for this morning due to the possibility of some storms popping up. Let's check in with our meteorologist, Greg. Good morning.
Good morning. Nothing on radar right now, so let's just kind of talk through what's going to happen between now and 9 a.m. Real quick event we're going to have, but we have a few things that are all working at once. This is brand new as you're waking up. There is a tornado watch in effect for a few of our counties, not for everyone. Tornado threat is still low, but it's not at zero, so we're giving the heads up here as we're in the overnight going into the morning, so no one's caught off guard. Wind advisory has been extended until noon. That's for everyone. Wind coming through, bringing in cold air very, very quickly. You're waking up right now. Right side of your screen in the 60s. I would say by about 9, 10 o'clock this morning, we're in the 40s. We dropped temperature that quickly. Here is that watch that was issued for a good chunk of southern Kentucky and then our northern tier of counties right along the Kentucky state line. This is through 8 a.m. That does not mean that just because, say, oh, Hopkinsville, you're not in this, that you might not have a strong storm or two. These are put out by the Storm Prediction Center, so they're generalizations, not a guarantee that just those counties have to watch out. Taking a look with that wind advisory, again, it is for everyone. Not going to be one of those days where you can escape the wind. Timing for storms here today. So basically right now through 6 a.m. will be our northwestern counties. Then it moves into the middle of Middle Tennessee, 5 a.m. through 8 a.m. Oh, perfect, just in time for the morning commute. Think back to yesterday. We'll have to watch it very carefully. And then after the Cumberland Plateau from 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock. That is the best chance for any potential severe weather across Middle Tennessee. Sun's coming up. Temperatures are still warm. Could be some wind and some hail that we have to watch out for. Like I said, though, there's nothing out there just yet. This is all moving in as we speak, and you're going to work through it with us, and I'll work through it with you throughout the whole morning as it does go county to county from northwest to southeast. You can see here on Future Track that, by the time we get moving into 5 and 6 o'clock, bands of showers and thunderstorms begin to fire. And once the rain moves out, I'm telling you right now, once the rain moves out, the wind still picks up, and we also still have a major drop in temperature. When is it finally out of here? I would say early afternoon, the last raindrops are falling in the plateau, and then that is it for this weather maker. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll keep looking at the radar if anything's out there. But for right now, just know that we are starting off calm and clear. Very windy right now, though. That's the big feature we've got at the moment.
Greg, thank you. Steer clear traffic looking pretty good here to kick off your early morning commute. This is a live look, and bear with us. Some of our TDOT cameras are a little glitchy this morning, but this is a live look out there. No crashes reported right now, so that's the good news. Hang tight. We'll check in again on steer clear traffic in just a couple of minutes. And we continue to follow the breaking news updates this morning out of Sumner County, where crews are still searching for a missing 15-year-old with autism. And in case you missed it yesterday, it's hard to miss because we all got the Amber Alerts on our phones. But there is now an Amber Alert issued for Sebastian Rogers.
Yeah, yesterday we were hearing from the emergency director over there in that county that said they're going to search no matter what, no matter the weather conditions, they're going to keep going forward with this.
They are, and we know that they're planning to continue those efforts early this morning. We've had first responders searching in the dark, in the late hours of the night and the very early hours of the morning. The reason they issued this Amber Alert is they were concerned about weather conditions, the fact that he needs some medication, and that EMA director, Erica, you were just mentioning, also made mention of new investigative information that they've developed during the course of their search. So let's listen in now to the latest from Ken Winder. He's the director of Sumner County EMA.
We've got a 15-year-old boy, and he's left his home, and we are literally throwing everything we can: helicopters, fixed wings, FLIR, horses, K9, search personnel, and we are literally, and on the initial search, we cover the initial area, and then we go over it again, and then we start expanding.
Initial search, they were saying that they believed he could be within 3/10 of a mile of his home. And now, of course, they're expanding that search with that Amber Alert in place.
Yes, so I want to give you a quick reference point on this location in Hendersonville. This is primarily at the intersection of Long Hollow Pike and New Shackle Island Road. This is right where you find Beach High School. We've got T.W. Hunter Middle, and then Beach Elementary as well. That is where they've set up Central Command. So if you are on Long Hollow Pike and you see a lot of police officers in big teams, this is Central Command for those search efforts. We've got our crew on the way, Karen Aguilar. We expect to have a live update from her in minutes.
Coming up, a rideshare driver shares that a deadly shooting was actually self-defense. Whoa, his side of the story as police currently investigate.
And an investigation.
Oh, I'm not, no, sir. It's the best time in daytime. You still here?
Sherry, weekdays at 10 on Fox 17.
Good morning, welcome back. Time right now is 4:08. We are in a code red weather alert, not for anything happening in this exact moment, but in the course of the next 4 hours, showers and storms begin to move in. And when they do, they will move in quickly. There will be a lot of lightning, very heavy rainfall. Watch for ponding. And this is going to happen a little bit later in the morning in the metro area than it did yesterday, only by about an hour or so. But that extra hour of leeway time puts us closer to our main drive times. I would say leave a little bit early, expect some storms, and use the headlights and windshield wipers. Please, please, please. Taking a look here at our potential for severe weather. Well, damaging wind and hail are the two biggest threats we're watching out for, but there is a tornado watch in effect. Watch. A tornado watch, not a warning, in effect for right along the Kentucky state line through 8 a.m. So eyes will be glued to the radar as the storms begin to get into the viewing area. Right now, nothing happening over South Nashville or our South Nashville camera looking over downtown. This is what happens when the storms are done. Right now, we are at 68 degrees. It is 33 degrees in St. Louis. That is not that far away. We're going to have our temperatures go from the 60s to the 40s by later on this afternoon. Let's hone it in, come back home, and take a look at a few more of our hometown temperatures. So upper 60s to low 70s. That is where we are starting off the day. We are very windy. We've had gusts up near 40 miles per hour. That will continue all day long, up until at least noon. And look at this. This is just 8 a.m. You just saw we're at 71. 8 a.m., 4 hours from now, 42 degrees in Nashville. It'll be in the 30s out toward Hopkinsville and Clarksville. That's just 4 hours away from now. So that means when you have that drastic temperature change from 60s to 30s, that you can get a few stronger thunderstorms. This is the afternoon. Right around 44, 45 degrees will be the temperature right in the middle of the day when we usually have our warmest temperatures of the day. And then overnight tonight, we continue to fall. Tomorrow morning, at around 5 a.m., temperatures in the upper 20s to right near 30 degrees. So that means that 24 hours from now, we're going to be 40 degrees colder than we are right now. That is a real shock to the system, so just keep that in mind. And also, if you've been using the air conditioner because your house has been a little bit warm here the last couple of days, do not go directly from AC to heat overnight. That can actually clog things up, and you don't want to be calling a repairman when it's 30 degrees outside.
4:10 is the time. Do you want to check in on your steer clear traffic? Because whenever we have a lot of severe weather, we know that traffic can really be an issue, and do want to give yourself some extra time because the roads could be slick. Right now, we're showing you a live look, I-65 at Long Hollow Pike, and you're not seeing a lot of people out there right now. We do want to let you know some of the cameras are acting a little bit glitchy, so if you see an issue, maybe the camera is frozen, that's why. Right now, though, giving you the green light for I-65 at Long Hollow Pike.
4:10 is your time. A Nashville rideshare driver says he shot and killed a passenger in self-defense Monday night. Don Campbell says the passenger, Karen Gardner, tried to kidnap him, pulling out a gun as they approached the intersection of Herman Street and 16th Avenue North.
Campbell pulled out his own gun, leading to the deadly gunfire. That's according to him. Police say Campbell is cooperating with this very much so ongoing investigation.
Yeah, this is the breaking news that we brought you yesterday morning. And, you know, we had said we would work to get it more information. So kind of wild how that story is playing out. Right now in Operation Crime and Justice, Clarksville police are investigating the death of a baby in Clarksville, and we do want to warn you the details of this story may be tough to hear.
Yeah, so police telling us that they were called when a baby was found shot in a home on Citadel Drive. It happened Sunday. They say the child was pronounced dead right there at the scene, and we are mapping it out for you, so take a look. Police do say once they wrap up their investigation, the DA's office will then decide whether or not any charges will be filed.
We'll be following that for you. And in your community this morning, a resource officer at Dickson Elementary School being called a hero after saving the life of a child who had been choking. Now, it happened at the lunchroom at Centennial Elementary School there in Dickson. We understand that students went to Officer Tabitha Jeanette to get help when a 5th grader was choking. The Dickson Police Department says Jeanette performed the Heimlich maneuver and got the food removed from the student's throat. This is Jeanette's first year as an SRO.
Fantastic. Coming up, the Michigan primary results are in from overnight. We're going to tell you what it could mean for all 3 major candidates in the presidential race.
And a struggle over music.
Dry, burnt-on stains, old dishwashers, very hard water. New Finish Ultimate with CycleSync technology helps deliver the ultimate clean.
Welcome back. 4:14 is the time. Do want to let you know that Fox 17 News, we are in a code red weather alert for possibly severe weather later today and earlier this morning during your busy Wednesday morning commute. So we're going to talk about the severity of the winds, the chances for power outages, and how it could impact the rest of your day. That's coming up in your full forecast in just a couple of minutes. But right now, showing you a live look of the Nashville skyline. Just be mindful of that. Give yourself a little bit of extra time because we know the roads, it just doesn't take much for there to be an issue at hand.
President Biden and former President Donald Trump come out on top in Michigan's primary overnight. The results boosting the odds that these two will face off in a November rematch.
Well, Biden easily beat out the last remaining significant opponent, Minnesota Representative Dean Phillips, with about 80% of the vote. Michigan is home to a large Arab American population. Michigan Congressman Rashida Tlaib backed the uncommitted effort, which netted more than 13% of the Democratic votes last night.
That campaign, though, really seen more as a way to protest President Biden's handling of the Israeli offensive against Hamas on the part of Rashida Tlaib. And former President Trump beating out former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley on the Republican side of this primary, taking in about 68% of the vote. Still, Nikki Haley vows to continue her campaign through at least Super Tuesday, which is coming up March 5th. She pointed out that voters have continued to support her. Haley has also raised more money than former President Trump, and she says it's a sign that those donors think she is a good long shot candidate, especially in the event that Mr. Trump has legal issues that could take him out of the race.
Let's talk about social media. We have an update to the struggle between TikTok and Universal Music Group. TikTok says they are removing more music from their platform. We initially talked about this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, we sure did. Universal Music Group has offices right here in Nashville. These two sides clashing over royalty payments. TikTok started muting songs from UMG after a licensing deal expired last month. Well, now TikTok says it's going to remove content from the Universal Music publishing arm, which applies to songwriters under the label as well as Universal Music Groups. Now, TikTok claims against them that they're not paying their artists enough money for how much their music gets, streamed on that social media platform. They say about 30% of popular songs on that app could be impacted.
Tomorrow is a special day, not just because it's Leap Day, but it's also going to be the groundbreaking for the new Nissan Stadium. And that's where we're showing you a live look right here. The celebration is getting underway Thursday, as we mentioned, but it's going to be around 2 o'clock. Guest speakers, a lot of folks coming out there. I don't believe it's open to the public, but they are saying, hey, it's a way to celebrate our Titans family.
Yeah, and so as the Titans do move into the new phase, Tennessee movers and shakers, we're going to be there. Erica, as you mentioned, a lot of folks are going to be at this event, including the Titans owner, Amy Adams-Strug. Governor Bill Lee will be there, Mayor Freddie O'Connell. Titans will still be using the old Nissan Stadium, which we're looking at here right now live, for the next several years while construction continues. I was just thinking, so this is a leap year. In 4 more years, when we have another leap year, the new stadium will be built.
If they stay on track. We'll see.
Good point. Touche.
And it will also have only been 1 year since they broke ground.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Because
of the years, yeah.
Red lights are on, and we are in a code red weather alert, but nothing is happening right now. So we're going to set the stage. At least we're not waking up at this time like what we saw yesterday morning at this time, where we already had thunder rolling straight through Middle Tennessee. Now it's still off to our north and our west. This is the heads up before it gets here, just so you know. Very windy right now. Temperatures are in the upper 60s to near 70. When this line of storms moves in, the most likely thing we have to watch out for is going to be hail. That and damaging wind. There is a low-end tornado threat that is out there. The timing through 9 a.m. And I'm going to show you why I say it's a low threat, even though we have a tornado watch for a few of our counties. Here's our radar picture. Nothing happening yet. We're getting close, knocking on our doorstep here in our northwesternmost counties, but nothing that is out there yet for us to track. When it gets into the area, we definitely will do so. But look how much lightning we're putting down with this. This will be a very narrow band with very gusty wind and absolutely going to be a lightning maker, just like yesterday morning was for us. I want to pull back and take a look at the big picture here. A few severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect, and everyone else who's shaded in the yellow boxes has a tornado watch as well. The reason why I say we're at a low-end threat, look at how low we are on this watch. When it comes to the areas that are more expansive, better chance. Down for us, we'll have a couple of the ingredients that are out there, enough to warrant us having to just keep our eyes on it. Watch literally does mean keep our eyes on it just to see what's going on. Here's the last 4 hours, though. There have been a few tornado warnings in areas that were previously in a tornado watch. So that's where we're being cautious. This is overnight into a morning. We're not trying to scare anyone. We're just saying be prepared. The timeline moves this through in the next 4 to 5 hours. Nashville area, roughly 6 to 7 o'clock, this begins to really pick up. Wind advisory, also in effect until noon. You're feeling the wind, you're feeling the heat, and you're going to get the cold coming up soon. We're going to talk about how we go from 70 degrees to 30 degrees in about 24 hours. So a lot of things to keep unpacking with this forecast. Just know nothing on radar just yet. We're going to keep our eyes on it.
Greg, thank you. 4:20 is the time. Let's take a live look out near the airport. We're going to show you what I-40 Donaldson Pike looks like as of right now. You're not going to see a lot of folks out there. No issues at hand. Again, this is over near the airport, I-40 Donaldson Pike. If you're heading out this way, we're giving you the green light. We'll continue sharing all of your steer clear traffic updates throughout 9 a.m. though.
There is hope that a government shutdown can be avoided. This after an Oval Office meeting with President Biden and congressional leaders just yesterday.
And we have been working in good faith around the clock every single day for months and weeks and over the last several days, quite literally around the clock, to get that job done. We're very optimistic.
Well, House Speaker Mike Johnson, who you just heard from there, says his priorities are funding the government and also protecting the southern border. That goal is shared by Democrats, but they warn that Ukraine faces defeat at the hands of the Russian army if they do not receive arms immediately. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the decision was spirited. Discussion, rather.
The meeting on Ukraine was one of the most intense I have ever encountered in my many meetings in the Oval Office. We said to the Speaker, get it done.
Well, we know this morning that the government funding deadline is coming up Friday, and it is likely that continuing resolutions will be needed to keep all departments open and running. Just not clear, though, whether Speaker Johnson will bring the Ukraine and Israel funding supplemental to a vote without a border deal first. So a lot of
moving parts,
contingencies, if you will, on whether this gets done.
Well, coming up, a major matchup as Nashville SC faces a team from the Dominican Republic tonight for the second time. What to expect and what could happen after a victory.
4:24 your time. We are in a code red weather alert for incoming thunderstorms. They're not here yet, but they are on their way, and they have been doing a lot of interesting things to the Midwest here when it comes to severe thunderstorms, lightning, and hail. So we have to watch very carefully as this approaches Middle Tennessee and southern Kentucky. Showers and storms are moving closer and closer to us. As soon as they get here, we're going to keep tracking them every 5 minutes throughout the rest of this morning, all the way through 9 a.m. A strong storm, a stray strong storm east of I-65 can't be ruled out this morning, but the one place we're watching most carefully right along the Kentucky state line as this begins to move in. Sharp temperature drop. That's the other part of the picture here. The storms don't last that long. They might only last an hour where you're at and then get out of here pretty quickly. The wind goes with it, but the wind brings in colder air. Look at how it's out of the south right now, gusting right around 35 miles per hour. Well, by 7 o'clock, look at wind from the south, wind from the north moving in this direction. And that's where the cold air is coming from. We're going to go from 71 degrees right now to 44 degrees by 9 o'clock. That's a real quick temperature swing. Wind sticks with us, but not quite as gusty after 12 o'clock. That's why our wind advisory I've been talking about will only last until right around noon. And the wind will continue to slowly fade away going into tonight. So do our temperatures. That 46 is the afternoon temperature, right in the middle of the day. That's not your high. Your high temperature is basically right now at 71 degrees. Overnight tonight, we're all the way down to 28, but we do warm for the weekend.
Greg, thank you so much. Steer clear traffic is looking really good here to kick off your Wednesday morning. Happy hump day to you. I hope your day is going great so far. Listen, if you are just coming off your shift work, maybe it's time for you to quit and go home. You've got no problems out there on the roads. This is a live look from Vietnam Veterans Boulevard at Conference Drive. This is up in Hendersonville. By the way, speaking of Hendersonville, we'll be taking you there live in just a few minutes to get you the latest update on the search for that 15-year-old missing boy.
Switching gears here, talking about what's happening tonight in the sports world. Nashville SC playing Mocha FC to finish off the first round of the Champions Cup. So a lot of folks looking forward to this. In the previous face-off, take a look here at highlights. The boys in gold shut out the team from the Dominican Republic 3-0.
They'll be ready tonight too. Nashville has the home field advantage. A 3-goal lead would give them a great chance of advancing to the next round. Reaching that would put them up against Inter Miami and Lionel Messi. The big match is starting late tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and just put it out there right now. It's going to be cold. Oof. It is going to be cold at Nashville SC tonight, especially if you are up in those stands where the wind comes through the corners. Bundle up. It's an 8:15 p.m. kickoff.
I will be very much asleep.
Yes.
The Preds continuing their winning streak with a victory over the Ottawa Senators. It was happening last night. Maybe you watched some of the highlights. If not, we got them right here. The Preds starting the game out with 2 goals from Roman Josi and then Michael McCarron. The Senators notching their 1 goal at the end of the first period.
All right, let's go to near the end of the second period. Roman Josi from, well, that was the 1 goal for the Senators. I think our highlights might be just a little delayed here. But Roman Josi would get another one. Gustav Nyquist would score. Preds win 4-1, and Preds maintain their 4th place spot in the division.
I like that name, Gustav.
Gustav. It's got gusto.
A close win for Vanderbilt at Arkansas yesterday. In the second half, the Doors got up to 11 over the Razorbacks, but Arkansas, they managed to go ahead and push back, ultimately reaching within 1 point of the Doors' lead.
Yeah, but we did have a last shot missed, and Vanderbilt takes home the win. And that nail biter, 85-82, the final.
The search continues for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. In a few minutes, I'll have the latest along with what we know.
And the Mid-State
BioFreeze provides fast-acting relief. I can apply it to more areas of my body, and it's NSAID-free. Cool the pain, so I can get back on the court.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Fox 17 News operating in a code red weather alert as you wake up with us here on this Tuesday. Bottom right-hand side of your screen, Wednesday morning here. We're all keeping track together. Bottom right-hand side of your screen, nothing on radar yet, but we're tracking incoming storms throughout your morning in your forecast.
A lot going on, so days do get mixed up, Greg. Thank you. Now on Fox 17 News, though, we also are digging into the controversy as Tennessee Democrats argue the state's education commissioner is not qualified. We're going to explain why they say that's the case.
And one community has a plea for help trying to find the woman on your screen here right now who people haven't heard from in more than a week now. Thanks so much for starting your Wednesday with us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm Erica Glover. You can see the red lights are on. We are in a code red weather alert, so we do want to get right on over to Greg Bobus, telling us what we need to watch out for as we wake up.
We are waking up to nothing happening just yet. It's really warm outside and very windy. Temperature right near 70 degrees, but that's going to change real quick. By about 8 a.m., we're going to be at 40 degrees. Cold front moves in. We're tracking incoming storms that are not here yet, but once they get here, they're not going to last long. It's a very narrow band of rain. Maybe a couple of hours at best, you'll see some showers and thunderstorms coming down. It won't be a prolonged day like yesterday started. And then the sharp temperature drop really is the second piece of the puzzle for us here. So we're going to go code red because there could be a strong storm or two damaging wind and hail being our biggest threats. And everything I keep looking at here, and I'm looking between every commercial break we have, is showing that our tornado chances have been going down over the last 2 hours for most of us. What happens is this line of storms has to outrun the incoming cold air. If the cold air catches up, it kind of makes the temperatures a little bit too cold to see a lot of the things that we need. So we're watching it real carefully here. Tornado watch is in effect for our counties that are right along the Kentucky-Tennessee state line. Keep that in mind. So your threat's not at zero, but the more we get away from the yellow boxes, the better our chance to stay in the clear when it comes to anything spinning later today. That's not the case, though, out toward the Midwest. They have had a history of a few, not just severe thunderstorms, but also a few tornado warnings. So for that reason, they did issue the tornado watch for many areas. Watch means our eyes are literally just on it, nothing that is actively on the radar for us so far this morning. This is the last 4 hours. You can see not only is there rain, but snow starting to come down in areas that 24 hours ago were dealing with severe thunderstorms. So this is a very complex system moving in with a lot of moving parts to it, and we're going to get all of them. The wind is one that sticks with us until noon. Wind advisory has been extended until Wednesday at noon, and then we continue with cold dropping temperatures. We'll focus on the temperature game quite a bit in the next check of the forecast before we start having to track those storms that move in for us here this morning.
Greg, thank you. Steer clear traffic time right now at 4:32. A live look from I-40 at American Road. This is west of Nashville. Good morning to all of our friends who are commuting in from Dickson, Kingston Springs, Bellevue. Your morning commute looks fantastic, as does the rest of the morning commute. We are currently crash free. We have a couple of construction zones around the I-65, I-40 loop west of Nashville, but those should clear up in about the next 30 minutes. We're monitoring all the developments in steer clear traffic with updates in about 5 minutes.
Well, right now, though, we also want to bring you up to speed on our breaking news situation out of Sumner County, where the search for a missing 15-year-old is very much continuing.
Yeah, it's active, this Amber Alert for Sebastian Rogers, and so many members of this Shackle Island community have been coming together, trying desperately to find him. We have Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live right now with the latest update.
Good morning. The search continues for its third day in a row this morning in Hendersonville, and our hearts go out to the family of Sebastian Rogers. Officials say the boy's been missing since Monday and is autistic. He's been without his medication for more than 36 hours now, which is why finding him is so crucial. The Shackle Island Fire Hall behind me is the home base for the search crews. Multiple agencies across the state, along with the community, are searching for him. Rogers was last seen near Stafford Court in Hendersonville wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said on X. People are asked to check their property, their home surveillance video, and other places the boy may be hiding. Sumner County EMA Director Ken Widener tells us what they are hoping for and doing until he is found.
We keep expecting someone to pull up with him, hoping that they see him and pull up. That hasn't happened, so we're just going to keep grinding it out and keep getting additional resources in here and keep the search ongoing.
Officials ask that if anyone has any information, you can contact 1-800-TBI-FIND, or you can contact 1-615-451-3838. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
In Crisis in the Classroom, we have continuing coverage of allegations that the Tennessee Education Commissioner does not meet the state requirements to be in her position.
Right. We told you yesterday morning we were going to start digging into these claims. So here's what we've been able to find out. Democratic lawmakers claim that Commissioner Lizette Reynolds doesn't have a teaching license. And another issue they say is that she lives in Texas. So we wanted to get answers from the Tennessee Department of Education. When we did not get a response by email, Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker went to the office just yesterday.
Is she here today?
I don't know where she is at the moment.
When was the last time she came here?
I'm not going to answer that. We're not going to do, you can reach out and we'll be glad to answer your questions, but she works in this building every day.
So Brian Blackley, the media director, did send Fox 17 News an email reading in part the commissioner's credentials and professional experience qualify her to serve as commissioner. The governor is also standing by the commissioner.
At 4:36, family and friends are hoping that you have seen the woman right here on your screen. So stop what you're doing and take a look. Her name is Emily Bradley. They say no one has seen Bradley since she left friends at an East Nashville home, and that was now 10 days ago. Witnesses say that she drove off in a 2016 silver Chevy Cruze. They are saying if you know her, maybe you have some whereabouts, some updates about that, you were asked to call Metro Police.
And taking a look at an issue in all of our communities, there is now a record low blood shortage. But you can help today. There is a blood drive that California Closets of Tennessee is hosting. And Erica mentioned just a few minutes ago, this one is interesting when it comes to incentives. The drive will be hosted at California Closets Nashville headquarters. That's at 2601 Winford Avenue. By the way, donor levels locally here at home have been reported at the lowest in 20 years, with the blood supply reaching historic lows. The organization says anybody who donates today will automatically be entered for a $500 prize. That's not just a little gift card to go get you a taco or a cup of coffee.
I like that. Now in your voice, your vote, we have some more information from the early voting before the March 5th elections. That's, God, a couple of days. Nashville seeing more than 28,500 total voters casting their ballots early, and that's an increase in numbers we've seen in the past. 5.6% of all voters registered in the city, in fact. The most popular place to vote early, it seems, was the library over in Green Hills, a very popular spot to make that happen. Second place, we're told, was the library that is over in Hermitage. If you want some more of these numbers, information on voting on March 5th, go to fox17.com. We have it mapped out all for you.
Wild video coming in new this morning from Texas, where wildfires are spreading quickly. We'll take you there for updates in minutes.
And over a year after a train derailment, remember this?
With 27 competitors.
This is the biggest tournament of champions ever.
Weeknights at 5 on Fox 17.
For your time. Welcome back. We're in a code red weather alert for incoming storms a little bit later this morning. They're getting closer and closer to us here. Really minute by minute. They're almost into southern Kentucky, but not quite here just yet. So here's the setup, and then we'll begin to track once they actually do get here shortly. Another round of morning storms, kind of like yesterday morning. Only the timings are just a little bit different here, a little bit later in the morning than yesterday. And then all modes of severe weather are now possible, but I'm still most concerned about wind and hail. The tornado threat has actually gone down a little bit, even in just the last hour or so, but it's still there. So we're code red through at least 9, 10 o'clock this morning. Let's time out what's going to happen. We had a couple little showers about an hour ago in southern Kentucky. Those have died down. So through 6 a.m., that's the place we have to watch most carefully. 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock is the time frame from Nashville on or over toward the east, and then the Cumberland Plateau, 7 o'clock until 10 a.m. Once the rain starts falling, I'll be tracking it for you every 5 minutes all the way through 9 a.m.
All righty, Greg, thanks. 441 and steer clear traffic time. We're going to take you to I-65 at Trinity Lane. We do have some traffic moving through here, but no congestion. In fact, all of your morning commute looks pretty good right now, congestion-wise. We don't have any crashes reported. There is one thing that I'm monitoring, though. It is north of Nashville. Unfortunately, we don't have cameras in this area, but up along I-65, where it intersects with Highway 52. We've got a backup if you were leaving Nashville and trying to get to Kentucky. This is north of Cross Plains. If it turns out to be anything significant and you might need a detour, we'll be the first to let you know.
In national headlines now, evacuations happening as we speak because the raging wildfires threatening communities over in Texas.
Yeah, we've got the newest video coming in from the Panhandle right now. You can see flames off in the distance here at homes and barns and other buildings very close by. This is so scary. This wildfire burning through the city of Fritch. A Facebook post from the Fritch community says that folks there have been told to evacuate immediately if they're not already gone. People living close by also told to get out of their homes. Texas Governor Greg Abbott issuing a disaster declaration for 60 counties in Texas.
Wow. Norfolk Southern, meanwhile, CEO Alan Shaw got a big raise last year despite that disastrous train derailment over in East Palestine. That was in Ohio last February, and there is no way this video that you're about to see doesn't surprise you. It was just catastrophic.
Well, it was, and so a lot of people are saying, what in the world? Shaw got a $13.4 million compensation package in 2023. In 2022, it was $9.8 million. That is a 37% raise. And by the way, 2023 was Shaw's first full year as the CEO. So Apparently, part of the increase is due to him working more months on the job than the year before. An investor group wants to elect different candidates to the company's board of directors with the goal of replacing Shaw. According to their most recent estimate, the February 3rd, 2023 train derailment cost Norfolk Southern more than $1 billion. And this guy got a 37% raise.
Something is not adding up.
Multi-millions of dollars.
Coming up, there is a resolution to a decades-old murder. The two people convicted in the death of an innovative DJ, Jam Master Jay.
And we were just talking about wildfires close to home in Texas.
Ooh, yeah.
Hey. I feel good.
Welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning. Time right now 4:46. We are in a code red weather alert as we track an incoming line of storms that could bring some pretty nasty weather activity. We do have tornado watches in effect for several counties right here in the mid-state. In fact, what you see in yellow, we've got Sumner County, Robertson County, Montgomery County, a lot of these places are within 20-25 minutes of Nashville. So definitely on alert right now. Plus, we've got places in southern Kentucky under those tornado watches. We'll get an update from Greg in moments.
Well, it took more than 2 decades, but 2 men were found guilty of the 2002 murder of Jam Master Jay yesterday.
We're talking about Ronald Washington, who was Jay's childhood friend, and Carl Jordan Jr., who was Jay's godson. Jay was the DJ for the group Run DMC. They were the first rappers to appear on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine. Performing on Saturday Night Live, they won a Grammy, Lifetime Achievement Award. And although a hip-hop group, they were also inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2009.
Recall alert right now. Toyota is recalling thousands of their Tacoma pickup trucks due to potentially loose parts. That's not a good update right there.
The automaker says 381,000 Tacoma pickups from the years 2022 and 2023 are involved in this recall.
Toyota says rear axle bolts could come loose and then just fall off. They also say the issue could increase the risk of a crash, but they did not cite any reports of accidents related to this loose part. The automaker says customers impacted by the recall will receive a notice by late April.
All right, we want to go to some international headlines now, where a huge blaze is forcing tens of thousands of evacuations in Australia.
Yeah, so authorities have ordered around 30,000 folks to go ahead and evacuate parts of Victoria, again over in Australia today. We're showing you some video of the hot, dry and windy conditions that some say are really creating extreme to catastrophic fire dangers. That is according to the country's meteorology bureau there. Firefighters have been battling a bushfire that began Thursday and has since destroyed 6 homes.
Wow. Authorities are concerned that the weather conditions could be pushing the flames closer to highly populated areas. These are some of the worst fire conditions that country has seen in recent years. In 2019, a catastrophic series of bushfires destroyed big parts of southeastern Australia, killing 33 people. Again, this was in 2019, and wiping out critical animal habitats.
Well, back here in Middle Tennessee, we do want to get right to our code red weather alert. Let folks know what to expect before heading out the door.
Right now, not much happening, but that's going to change very quickly throughout the course of this morning. And I'll bet you the next time I'm talking to you guys in about 5 minutes that we're going to have our first check of the radar as things are finally making their way into southern Kentucky. Right now, Middle Tennessee, we are dry, we are warm, we are windy, and that's going to all change before you even get out the door. Maybe you don't leave until about 8 later on today, but you're just getting up and wanting to know what we're working through. This 71-degree temperature will be in the 40s before we even reach 9 a.m. We're gearing up for winter-like temperatures today and tomorrow when it comes to mornings and afternoons. So you can see all this warm air, but look behind it. Not too far away from us, temperatures are already in the 30s, if not single digits if you get up toward Minnesota. This weather system started there 24 hours ago. That's how much it has changed the weather pattern for a good chunk of the country. And you can see these little green colors you've got right here. Next check of Hopkinsville temperature is going to start going down. Everything is beginning to start moving in the direction of potential severe weather. Where do we go? Taking a look here, leading toward the afternoon, we're going to be in the 40s. And then overnight tonight will be in the upper 20s and low 30s. That means tomorrow morning it will be roughly 40 degrees colder than it is right now as you're starting your day. Look at your 7-day forecast. It doesn't last all that long, but 46 degrees. That's the afternoon temp. 54 tomorrow, 55 degrees on Friday, and then back to the 70s for Saturday and Sunday. But next time we talk, we're going to start tracking that first round of incoming storms here that will lead us through our morning.
4:50 is the time. Let's check in right now for another Steer Clear traffic update. Now, I said earlier that the cameras are acting kind of wonky, and you can see why. This one going in and out. This is, though, an live look at I-65 at Long Hollow Pike, and we're not seeing any issues right now. We're keeping a very close eye on all of the TDOT traffic maps, though, to make sure that you can save some time and avoid any kind of accidents or slowdowns. But right now, I-65 at Long Hollow Pike, not seeing any kind of brake checks there.
4:50 and an alert as eye ointment products are under a nationwide recall from the Food and Drug Administration. So heads up here, these are brands sold at Walmart and CVS that might not be sterile like they're supposed to be, which could certainly cause all kinds of health problems.
Yeah, so we're going to tell you which ones you should avoid, and we are told that they could really impact your immune defense systems. Now take a look at your screen for some of the recalled products that do include Equate lubricant eye ointment and then CVS Health lubricant eye ointment. More information is available on the FDA's website. For that link, go to fox17.com.
1 out of every 6 women in this country is a survivor of rape or attempted rape, and women in the Nashville area tell Fox 17 News the city of Nashville needs to take these numbers more seriously.
Tori Reisner never says she goes out of her way on Broadway anymore. In October, Reisner says she was roofied by someone. She didn't remember anything until she woke up on her front porch the next morning with her wallet missing. And she says she did not file a police report because she does not see others in the community getting any kind of results. Before agreeing to speak with Fox 17 News, she never really even spoke about what happened to her.
I don't know who I was with, what I was doing, how long I was from the bar to my house. I'm angry, mostly because you're supposed to feel safe with yourself, and it hurts.
Oh, tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, Amanda Chin is pushing city leaders for change.
Also ahead, the Department of Justice is taking aim at one healthcare company in particular with an antitrust probe. We'll tell you more about the investigation that could impact your coverage.
And a unique winter sport is drawing fans. Have you ever seen?
You guys have been around for such a long time and you have a reputation in the community. The settlement that was, achieved, it's like the start of a new life.
4:55 is the time. Right now we're showing you a live look. A Metro Center letting you know to be on alert for strong showers and storms, gusty winds that really could impact your Thursday morning. Greg is going to lay out the full forecast and the timing. I know he's keeping a very close eye on the radar. He says it is moving in, so we could have an updated forecast as we speak.
That's right, Erica. Let's just jump right in here and take a look at the radar. We're finally getting our first little glimpse of what's going to be a long morning starting from the northwest, moving all the way down through middle Tennessee and exiting the plateau by about 9-10 o'clock this morning. You can see oranges, yellows, even purples here with heavy rainfall coming down. And there have been some indicators not necessarily moving directly over us, but down to the south and west of some decent sized hail. And the lightning indicator turned down. We got a lot of that as well. What I'm going to do is go turn off the tornado watch just so we can get a better idea of just the radar itself and not the yellow color underneath it. But just know that if you are right along the Kentucky state line, every one of our counties here has the chance for a little spin later today. I'm not seeing any of that happening right now, which is good, but taking a look off toward the north and the west. And these little arrows that are on here, good indicators of the direction in which this entire system is moving. It is moving relatively in this direction, but it's also not just going that way as it's starting to move, but in the general sense, it is still moving down toward the south and the east. That means Hopkinsville, you are right on the edge of this here. Within the next 10 or 15 minutes, you're going to go from absolutely no rain right now to a very heavy band of rain that moves in with quite a bit of lightning. So your window of opportunity to maybe let the dog out real quick or to just make sure we have the phone charged, the whole 9 yards here. We're getting closer to it. I will tell you that as of right now, any spin in the atmosphere, I'm not seeing any of that. So this is just a very well put together narrow band of showers and thunderstorms that we have to continue to contend with. I want to show you a future track real quick. This gets us through the morning in toward 6, 7 o'clock. That is the time frame when we have to start watching out in Nashville here, between 6 and 7 o'clock. And then we watch through all the way into 9 o'clock, the oranges, the yellows, still the heavier bands of rain that track out by 11. If we do see any severe weather, I am most concerned about damaging wind and the potential hail threat with this, because we've got really warm air right now. We're at 70 degrees. We have our air that's going to go from 70 to the 40s before 9 o'clock. You get that difference in temperature meeting each other, they're not friends. So that means there could be some stronger storms, and it's a really tight, you saw a very narrow line of storms that will be moving through, so it's not going to last terribly long, maybe an hour or so when it gets to your neighborhood, but a lot of rain, lightning, and we're watching out for hail. As we go into 5 o'clock, we will get right back onto the radar, continue tracking what is there, and looking at any other signs we may see of severe weather potential taking us throughout this morning.
Greg, thank you so much for our update. 4:58 is the time, so let's take a live look and see what's happening over at American Road right now. You're not seeing any issues that are on your screen. Just be mindful the camera is acting a little wonky, but we're promising that we're keeping a very close eye on all of TDOT maps. Also want to let you know, north of Cross Plains, almost up to Kentucky, there is a slowdown in that area. It is because of construction. We tried to get a camera look there, but there's really not a camera that we can show you. So we're just going to go ahead and tell you to be mindful of that. Again, that is north of Cross Plains all the way up to nearly Kentucky. Just be mindful of the construction delays in that area.
The Department of Justice has now started an antitrust probe into United Health. This investigation has involved interviews with healthcare industry officials and representatives in areas where United Health competes with other groups. Now, according with people close to all this, the investigators are asking about links with United Health's insurance unit and their Optum Health Services arm. So they're looking into impact that this could have had when it comes to competition in cities. This comes as the Biden White House has also started looking into enforcing antitrust efforts to protect people. So far, no comment from United Health or the Justice Department.
Hey, take a look at this. It's a unique competition for a winter sport that you might not have heard of. It's over in Montana, and it was a weekend of ski-joring, I should say. In this competition, skiers are pulled through the snow over many slopes by, get this, a horse or a dog. Would you like to ski Georgian? Yes?
Well, okay, so it's like moguls on a ski slope.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. We track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance.
Warning you to weather that will impact your life.
Our forecast pinpoint a storm's path, showing when it will hit your neighborhood. That's where we already are. This low pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. We track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance. This low pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Warning you up to 3 days in advance.
So, when we call a Code Red weather alert,
know we're providing you with the information needed to prepare and stay safe.
you're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
The Fox 17 Code Red weather app, your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Download the Fox 17 News Code Red weather app now.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville. 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 You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. We track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance.
Warning you to weather that will impact your life.
Our forecast pinpoint a storm's path, showing when it will hit your neighborhood. That's where we already are. This low pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. We track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance. This low pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Warning you up to 3 days in advance.
So, when we call a Code Red weather alert,
know we're providing you with the information needed to prepare and stay safe.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
The Fox 17 Code Red weather app, your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Download the Fox 17 News Code Red weather app now.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville. 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 You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. We track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance.
Warning you to weather that will impact your life.
Our forecast pinpoint a storm's path, showing when it will hit your neighborhood. That's where we already are. This low pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. We track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance. This low pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Warning you up to 3 days in advance.
So, when we call a Code Red weather alert,
know we're providing you with the information needed to prepare and stay safe.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
The Fox 17 Code Red weather app, your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Download the Fox 17 News Code Red weather app now.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville. 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 You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. We track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance.
Warning you to weather that will impact your life.
Our forecast pinpoint a storm's path, showing when it will hit your neighborhood. That's where we already are. This low pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station, we track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance. This low-pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Warning you up to 3 days in advance.
So, when we call a Code Red weather alert.
No, we're providing you with the information.
So, when we call a Code Red weather alert.
No, we're providing you with the information needed to prepare and stay safe.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
The Fox 17 Code Red Weather app, your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Download the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather app now.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville. 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 You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station, we track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance.
Warning you to weather that will impact your life.
Our forecast pinpoint a storm's path, showing when it will hit your neighborhood. That's where we already are. This low-pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station, we track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance. This low-pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Warning you up to 3 days in advance.
So, when we call a Code Red weather alert.
No, we're providing you with the information needed to prepare and stay safe.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
The Fox 17 Code Red Weather app, your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Download the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather app now.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville. You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station, we track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance.
Warning you to weather that will impact your life.
Our forecast pinpoint a storm's path, showing when it will hit your neighborhood. That's where we already are.
Of Herman Street and 16th Avenue North. This is right over near Fisk University.
Correct. And Campbell says that he pulled out his own gun, leading to the deadly gunfire. Police say Campbell is cooperating fully with their ongoing investigation. There are more updates to come with this story.
Also new this morning, a man walks into a local business with gunshot wounds, and Metro Police are now investigating, trying to piece together what happened.
Yeah, so police say the man came to Plastic Supply. It's a business on Lewis Street in South Nashville with gunshot wounds to both legs. Showing you video of when we got there to the scene. He was taken to Vanderbilt Medical Center and his conditions right now not known. Police do say, though, the current suspect in the shooting is a heavyset black man with curly hair, and that the suspect might have left the scene in either a red or maroon colored vehicle. They're saying if you know anything about this particular shooting, you're asked to call Metro Police.
We're diving into the results of the Michigan primary. We'll tell you what they could mean for all of the major candidates still in the race.
And we're talking about TikTok and
to make them feel right at home. Ritz, a taste of welcome.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
5:15 is the time. Right now we're showing you a live look of the Nashville skyline, and tracking the severe weather that is on the way could bring some heavy winds and possibly some hail. So Greg is mapping out our full forecast. Just want to let you know to be on alert. Make sure you have your Code Red weather app downloaded and ready to go. And then go ahead, always a good idea to just have your phones powered up. You never know what could happen. We're going to share that full forecast, time it all out for you and what to know before leaving your house in a couple of minutes. Right now, though, we're talking about national headlines.
President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump come out on top in Michigan's primary last night. The results boosting the odds that these two will face off coming up in a November rematch.
Yeah, so we're getting some updates about this. We know Biden easily beat out the last remaining significant opponent, and Minnesota Representative Dean Phillips, that's the name, with about 80% of the vote. Michigan is home to a very large Arab American population. Michigan Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib backing the uncommitted effort, which netted more than 15% of the Democratic votes last night. Now, that campaign was really seen as a way to protest Biden's handling of the Israeli offensive against Hamas.
Mr. Trump beating out his challenger, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, with about 65% of the vote. Still, Nikki Haley says she's going to continue her campaign at least through Super Tuesday. She pointed to the voters who have continued to support her. And by the way, she has out-fundraised Mr. Trump. She says it's a sign that her donors consider her a long-shot candidate in the event that Mr. Trump has legal issues that take him out of the race.
Let's talk about TikTok. We have an update to the struggle between TikTok and Universal Music Group, as TikTok says they are going to go ahead and remove more music from the platform.
We have these two sides clashing over royalty payments. TikTok started muting songs from Universal Music artists after a licensing deal expired last month. In fact, we were live at Universal Music Group's office here in Nashville. Well, now TikTok says they're going to remove content from UMG's publishing arm, which applies to songwriters under the label as well. So not just the artists, but the songwriters. UMG claims that TikTok is not paying people enough. The social media platform estimates about 30% of what they call popular songs right now could be wiped off the app.
We're going to take a live look over in Hopkinsville, where rain is coming down on the highways there. I mean, this looks like a mess, and the camera even shaking a little bit. Look at those flags just flowing back and forth there. I know, Greg, we were getting reports too of small power outages. The power outages near Katie's. So folks are already seeing some of the impacts of the storms.
Wow. Yeah, and let's hold this camera for a few more seconds, and then we'll get back over to the weather radar and show the exact picture. This is one of the places that is seeing the heaviest rainfall right now. I'm seeing on radar that there might actually even be hail coming down. So if you're in the Hopkinsville area and you're seeing some hail, let us know. Reach out to one of us. But very windy, very, very rainy. And you can see right there, even just driving around,
lightning.
Town is not great right now. So let's flip over to the radar and take a look. It's confirming that for you. I'm going to zoom into that area right now. You can see I have lightning turned off. Watch what happens when I turn lightning onto the radar and we take a look. Everything lights up very quickly. What you're seeing right there are reds and greens. I'm looking for any rotation. None of that I'm seeing. But when I put it right back to the regular radar that you're used to, there's black right here. What that tells me is that when I turn the lightning back off and I turn on our hail detector, there it is. And now that little pink splotch does not look like it's a big deal, but that means that there could be some hail. In Stewart County, we're actually getting a few reports here of some nickel-size hail that's been coming down. So not quite big enough for a severe thunderstorm when it comes to hail size, but this tells us that this storm system is really, really tall. What I always tell kids when I go to school visits is the taller the storm, the stronger it's going to be. So even though it's a narrow band of rain, if it's really tall, it gets really cold up in the atmosphere very quickly, and that's one of the ways you can get hail to develop. So lightning, heavy rainfall, tons of wind with this. You saw that camera getting knocked around, and then the hail with that as well. The good thing is we're not seeing any signs of rotation. That's the best part of that, and we hope we keep that going on. But yeah, if you are just right near the Hopkinsville area, I want to keep this track going out toward the south and the east here. And Pembroke, 22 minutes. And I'm telling you, this is going to be really, really heavy rainfall. It might even limit visibility close to zero as this moves through. This is the one big pocket of rain that we're watching right now. And we're going to continue to watch this track through the area here over the course of the next couple of hours. So when does it get to your neighborhood? That's the big question. Here's the timing for the storms. Right now, they're moving into the purple area as we're talking in real time. And this is confirming that's lining up pretty well to what I'm seeing on our future track models here. Between 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock, it passes through the Clarksville area and gets into the heart of Middle Tennessee. This is not good, because this means that heavy rainfall and the hail potential is going to go right through Nashville, right during the peak of our drive times here in about 2 hours from now. So we're going to keep tracking this for you. Just know that right now we're very warm. Deceivingly warm, in the 60s to right near 70 degrees. In 4 hours, we're going to be in the 40s. Do not plan for clothing for warm weather. Plan for some winter gear for later today. And this all wraps up by the time we even get to lunchtime.
Greg, thanks so much. We don't have any traffic cameras up in southern Kentucky at our disposal, but just want you to know that we are monitoring traffic here closer to home. We have a live look right now. This is going to be I-65 at Hogan Road down in Brentwood. You can see the TDOT cameras are glitchy this morning. Sometimes that happens if we have a wind event that, kind of jostles them loose a little bit. So just bear with us as we take these live looks. Just want you to know the big story traffic-wise in the mid-state looks really good. We have no crashes, no big backups in the heart of the mid-state. We have a delay this morning on I-65 north of Cross Plains as you're getting up toward Portland. It's going up toward Kentucky and it's a construction zone. If you want to detour up that way, Highway 31 will be your best option.
Coming up, we're talking about sports, letting you know about a major matchup as Nashville SC faces a team from the Dominican Republic tonight for the second time. What to expect? As you heard from Jen and Greg, it's going to be chilly out there. That's one thing you can expect.
Yeah, for sure. And
why would you pay a rate based on anyone else? With Allstate, you're connected to a rate based on you. Call 1-888-ALLSTATE for a quote today.
524, welcome back. Now we are getting reports of hail. Battle Creek, Kentucky. Taking a look here. Yeah, this is from a little while ago. This tracked through about 2 hours ago. And this is well northwest of Clarksville. This is out toward the Hopkinsville area, Katie's area, a little more northwest than that. Yeah. And this is a really good picture. But what I want you to do after the storm passes, because it will pass quickly, if you get hail, find something in your house that's around the size of what you're holding in your hand.
Yeah, like a quarter?
Whether it's a quarter, a penny, a nickel, something, or even a ruler if you got it, just to kind of give us an idea.
More perspective.
Just perspective of how big this hail is, because everyone's hand's a different size. So for some, a little hailstone will look real big and vice versa. So just keep that in mind. There are some indications of some hail. This is the one spot we're watching. Hopkinsville is still rocking with lightning here. And I'm not going to be surprised if a lot of you folks in the next 10 minutes when this moves out end up seeing some hail on the ground in the Hopkinsville area. Katie's, look at how quickly this moved through for you. I want to go back just an hour and show you where this storm system was an hour ago. Hadn't even gone anywhere near us when it comes to Katie's and Hopkinsville. So keep that in mind. This is moving real fast, chugging along east-southeast. Let's put a track on it for you and see where we are headed. And areas, I'm going to put this right around 50 miles per hour here. Liberty moving in right now. Everton, Oak Grove, Trenton, Bradshaw, all 5 to 10 minutes here. Fort Campbell right there. It's starting as we speak. So keep that in mind. It's only going to last you a good 15 minutes to a half hour, and then it tracks out. Then you drastically will have cooling temperatures. So let's talk about the temperature profile of where we are and where we're going, because it's not very pretty. Taking a look at our current temperatures, and you're already seeing some green shading there when it comes to the colors we have underneath our numbers. 70 right now in Hopkinsville. When we get that next update after the storm moves out, I guarantee you temperatures start to fall on the map. And how quickly do they fall? That's the real question. Let's take a look. This is just this morning into the afternoon. Now, this is by about 8 o'clock, we're already in the 40s. Lunchtime, 40s. Dinner time, 40s. We're going to be 30 degrees cooler 12 hours from now. And then we'll be 40 degrees cooler 24 hours from now. Big temp swing. A lot of wind with this as well. So the wind's going to knock around our cameras. It's going to knock around you driving around. And this does get to the heart of Middle Tennessee in about the next 2 to 3 hours. So we're going to keep tracking. We're going to keep track of where it's at and help you get out the door as safely as we can. And this might be one of those mornings where if it does start moving through right during the peak of rush hour, just let the boss know, hey, you know what's out there. You're going through it too. Don't be crazy on the roadways this morning. It could be kind of a tough one.
Greg, thank you so much. And we do want to certainly give you an update when it comes to your steer clear traffic maps right here. We're showing you a live look, and you're not seeing any kind of issues right now. This is going to be near the Wilson County line, okay? So take a live look. Look what you're seeing here on your screen. The camera's acting a little funky out there, very wobbly. They were shaking left and right at one point. We're not seeing any issues on those TDOT traffic maps. We'll continue updating you throughout 9 a.m. for sure.
Happening tonight, Nashville SC is going to play Mocha FC to finish off the first round of the Champions Cup. Now, in the previous face-off, the boys in gold shut out Mocha FC, which is from the Dominican Republic. This time, Nashville has home field advantage, and they've got a chance to advance to the next round, especially if we can get a win tonight. I was saying earlier, I want to reiterate, if you plan to go to the Nashville SC match tonight, it's going to be cold. Bundle up. Now, if they can win tonight, they would go up against Inter Miami and Lionel Messi. Kickoff is at 8:15.
The search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers continues in Hendersonville early this morning. Coming up, I'll tell you what we know.
And Fox 17 News tracking all of your Code Red weather alerts.
Weeknights at 5 on Fox 17.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Electronic Express. We make it happen. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Waking up in a code red weather alert. Storms already tracking into portions of southern Kentucky, and we're all going to eventually end up seeing some thunderstorms throughout this morning. A tornado watch in effect right along the Kentucky state line through 8 a.m. We're going to get right to your forecast in just a few moments.
Yeah, very busy. You do want to start, though, by thanking you for waking up with us here on a Wednesday morning on Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get right to our top story, which is the weather as we are monitoring this really long, strong line of storms marching into the area.
That we are. I mean, taking a look right now, we're going to keep showing you cameras all throughout the morning of areas that, and this is Hopkinsville, where we're seeing lightning, and we've got a lot of rain and wind with this as well. Flags are bouncing around here. A few minutes ago, we were seeing dozens of lightning strikes per minute, but this is moving so quickly that we're almost on the backside of a system that started 15 minutes ago in the Hopkinsville area. Quick moving line of thunderstorms. Another round, but unlike yesterday, this is going to be much more short-lived. However, it has more of an implication to temperature as well, so they're not to be compared here this morning. All modes of severe weather are possible. If you're waking up, don't let that scare you. We've had no severe weather yet, so this is all just precautionary as this line begins to move in. Tornado threat is very low. I did mention a tornado watch that is in effect, but it's part of a much bigger watch that goes more toward the north and east, where they've got a much bigger chance for some rotation in the sky. So our threat is low, but it is there, so we'll watch it. Wind advisory, we're all getting the wind. All the way through noon, wind gusts of 45 to 50 miles per hour, and when that first punch of that line of showers and storms gets to your front door, you're going to notice the wind pick up significantly for a good 5-10 minutes before it calms back down a touch. Timing for the storms, well, where they're at right now, our northwesternmost counties through 6 a.m., the heart of Middle Tennessee 5 to 8 a.m., and then the Cumberland Plateau 7 to 10, and that's actually the best chance for a stronger thunderstorm, only because we'll have the sun up at that point. Looking at a track on this, continuing down toward the south and the east, and this really is moving quick. Hopkinsville, hang in there. You might even had some hail in the last 15 minutes. Now you're on the backside of the heaviest of the rainfall. Cadiz, you are done. Once this tracks through, we don't have much more to worry about for the rest of this morning, but here really is the big picture. If you are just waking up, what we're doing is we're tracking code red weather for today. We have not had any severe weather overnight. Most of us have not even seen any rain yet. As it moves through, it's going to be quick. That's what we're going to keep looking at it here about every 5 minutes. Clarksville, you're going to be up next here in about the next 10 to 15 minutes. So our wonderful producing crew in back there, try to find a Clarksville camera for us in a little bit so we can see what's moving into the area and keep this really the big focus of the morning to make sure we're all getting up and getting out the door safely here on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game here for us. We want to make sure that you are aware and prepared so you can stay safe and just make good choices for you and your family as the morning proceeds. Right now, steer clear traffic here in the mid-state looking pretty good. This is I-65 at Vietnam Veterans Boulevard north of Nashville. No major issues in steer clear traffic really anywhere. I'm doing a quick double check of the loop around downtown Nashville. That loop around downtown looks great. I-440 looks good. 840, no problems. The only backup that we're really seeing right now is because of construction along I-65 between Cross Plains and Portland, and that's in the outbound lanes. You can take Highway 31 as a good detour.
We're continuing to follow breaking news this morning out of Sumner County. That is where the search is continuing. A lot going on for the search for a missing 15-year-old. The TBI issuing an Amber Alert yesterday for Sebastian Rogers, and they did share more photos on social media, too.
More photos and more information, including why they decided to issue this Amber Alert. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live in Hendersonville in the community of Shackle Island.
Good morning. Well, they decided to issue that Amber Alert because more information was given out, including the fact that he's been missing for more than 24 hours now, and he's also been without his medication, which he desperately needs. Crews here in Hendersonville have been working around the clock to find 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. So far, behind me here at the Shackle Island Fire Hall, we haven't seen anyone with EMA here yet, but we're working on finding out if there are any leads. The last we heard, there wasn't, which we imagine is devastating for Rogers' family. So far, what we know is that Rogers was last seen near Stafford Court in Hendersonville wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses on Monday. TBI says he is 5'5", about 120 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Multiple agencies are looking for the teen statewide, using everything they have, according to Sumner County EMA Director Ken Widener. He tells us what they are hoping for and doing until he is found.
We keep expecting someone to pull up with him, hoping that they see him and pull up. That hasn't happened, so we're just going to keep grinding it out and keep getting additional resources in here and keep the search ongoing.
Widener is asking people to search their property, their home surveillance video, and other places the boy may be hiding, hopefully giving his family and the community some relief. Widener says that if you have any information, you can contact 1-800-TBI-FIND or 1-615-451-3838. Again, it's 1-615-451-3838. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you so much. We are in a Fox 17 News Code Red weather alert, showing you a live look over on Lower Broadway. Now listen, Greg is tracking the Doppler radar, letting us know when we...
Being able to pay my bills, I enjoyed you representing me because I knew I had to have the best.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Southeast Financial Credit Union.
Continuing to watch your Code Red forecast here this morning. We're in a Code Red weather alert for potential severe weather. Luckily, we have not had any severe thunderstorms yet. We've had no tornado warnings. There is a watch that is out there right along the Kentucky and Tennessee state line until 8 a.m. Right now, we're not seeing any signs of rotation, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Wind advisory for everybody until noon. It is definitely windy and very warm. We're right near 70 degrees right now. By 9 o'clock, we'll be in the 40s. Temperatures quickly begin to drop once the rain passes where you're at, which means everyone who's on this side of the rain is very warm. Everyone on that side of the rain is going to get cold very quickly. Let's just zoom in here to areas that have seen the rain. So Katie's, Kentucky, you are now on the all clear. Hopkinsville, things are dying down as we speak. Still a little bit of rainfall, but you are nearly in the all clear. There have been some indications, though, that y'all might have seen some hail come down with this here, and I'll show you that in a moment. Look at how quickly this is moving. This is just the last 2 hours. It is going to get in and get out very quickly, but it will pack a punch as it does so when it comes to thunder, lightning, and heavy rainfall. Stopping it back in real time, all the little pink areas are areas that have seen indicators of hail, and we've even seen a few pictures come in. If you have any hail where you were at and you were right along this line, make sure you're letting us know what you see, and if you can take pictures safely after the storm ends, we'd love to see them so we know what's going on. Russelville, about 10-15 minutes until this moves in for you. And if you're down in Clarksville, around 10 minutes as well. As this moves in, you'll go from no rain to heavy rainfall very, very quickly.
Greg, thanks so much. 541, and we monitor the impacts to your morning commute here in the Mid-State, which are very low right now, low impact. Really, the only thing we're experiencing would be some of the high winds. So if you have a high-profile vehicle, it might shake you around a little bit out there. No crashes right now in your morning commute, which is great news. This is I-65 at Trinity Lane. A little bit of construction back up near Portland this morning going toward Kentucky. You can take Highway 31 for a detour. We'll be monitoring your traffic as the system moves in and how it does impact your drive. Well, the Preds Road Magic comes here to the Bridgestone Arena. We've got home ice advantage and highlights from a big matchup last night. Plus, we will continue our Code Red weather alert through the morning. A live look from Nissan Stadium. Camera kind of going in and out here when we get
in your background said former U.S. Marine. You can trust them. I knew when you'd say something to me, I didn't have to wonder if you were telling me the truth.
Good morning and welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning at 5:44 right now. And new from Smoky Barn News, a freak accident in Springfield left a woman dead overnight when a tree fell on her moving car. She was driving down the road when it happened. According to Smoky Barn News, this is on Kinney's Road just outside of Springfield. We've got the video here showing this tree that just fell across the road. We understand ripping off the top of the woman's car, killing her.
Yeah, the car was later found in a nearby ditch. Tennessee Highway Patrol not sharing the woman's name as of right now or her age. We will continue following this story and bring you any more updates.
My goodness gracious. All right, now we go to some national headlines, but also weather related. You could say wildfires causing havoc in the Lone Star State for the second straight day. Look at this wildfire burning across the asphalt of the road here. We have so many communities, especially in the panhandle of Texas, that are now under evacuation orders.
Yeah, they're asking residents, as you mentioned, to get out of there. As you might imagine by looking at this video, oh my gosh, the fire already scorched more than 200,000 acres. Local crews are also fighting the Grapevine Creek fire in Gray County. So just, particular areas in here, that wind just adding to the ability for it to spread and cause even more damage.
So dry, so windy, so hot. You could see a fire NATO in that one dash cam video that looked like it was coming from a fire truck as crews were going into the fire.
Now closer to home, we were in a code red weather alert, so we're taking in your photos I should say, and videos. And look at this one on your screen. This is hail over in Battle Creek. We understand that that's, Kentucky, northwest of Clarksville.
It sure is. And Greg has mentioned that he was seeing indications on our live radar that hail might be falling, and that, Greg, looks to have been the case in places like Hopkinsville as well.
Yeah, Hopkinsville, you're now seeing the rain ending. I'm curious if you did have any hail, because radar shows that we had tall enough thunderstorms where we easily could have been seeing the hail coming down here. Is this our Clarksville camera? Trying to take a look here. This is Clarksville. So you guys are starting to see the first raindrops of the morning, and it's going to pick up. If we look at this camera again in say 5 minutes, we're going to have a lightning storm and look at even the rain right now is picking up in real time for us on this. And this is going to be the next area that is up in the line of these showers and storms. Here is the full line. It is going to impact almost all of us this morning. Taking a look. Hopkinsville, like I mentioned, you are wrapping up shop here. This is only going to take about a half hour to move in and out as it moves through southern Kentucky and middle Tennessee. It's a very fast moving system, at least the brunt of it. The orange areas not going to last all of that long. Now taking a look, Clarksville. Yeah, you already saw your first raindrops of the morning. The next update of the radar, I guarantee you that we're going to see things that pick up a little bit more. I've changed the colors in the map. You go, why does this look like Christmas? Well, greens and reds are two different wind directions. You like to have a nice straight line between both of them. That means there's no rotation. They're not friends. They don't want to mingle. And they're not doing that right now, which means we're seeing no signs of rotation as this is moving in. But we do have indicators there could be more pockets of hail. Look at these little purple areas. These are areas where we have really tall thunderstorms. So if you do see some hail, which is one of the biggest things we have to contend with, let's say Oak Grove or Dover. These are two spots to watch out for next in line here. The lightning is going to be there. The wind is going to be there no matter what. Wind gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour when this tracks through. It will be through the heart of middle Tennessee before you know it here. In the next hour or two, this gets toward the Nashville area and then pulls out toward the plateau. That's where our best chance for severe weather could be when it comes to that hail and that possibility of some damaging wind. Right now, we have not had a severe thunderstorm overnight into this morning. I want to stress that. And then by the end of the morning, we're going to work our way out of this rain. And boy, are we going to bring in some really cold air very quickly after this. We're at 70 right now. We'll be at 40s. We'll be in the 40s by the time we get to 9 o'clock. Look at Hopkinsville, top left-hand side where all the green is at. 54. They have dropped 17 degrees in less than a half hour. That's what we're dealing with here when we go into the rest of this morning. We'll keep our eyes on the temps and keep tracking for you in the next check of your forecast. Right now, steer clear traffic a little closer to the Nashville area.
Greg, thank you. Right now, we do want to check in and see what's happening with our TDOT SmartWay cameras. They're acting a little weird right here, so that's why you're seeing some of that frozenness up on the screen here, the live image. We're not seeing any slowdowns, no crashes, no disabled vehicles. That's a good update. This is going to be Bradley Parkway at Two Rivers. At Two Rivers, correct. Thank you so much, Jen. So again, no issues at this particular spot, but we'll continue sharing your live updates when it comes to traffic after the break.
And now to a sensitive story regarding violence against women. Studies show 1 out of every 6 women in the U.S. are survivors of rape or attempted rape.
Women in the Nashville area telling Fox 17 News that the city needs to take those numbers seriously. Tori Reisner says she never goes out on Broadway anymore after someone roofied her. And she also says that she did not file a police report because Reisner felt she would never see justice. Before agreeing to speak with Fox 17 News, Reisner says she had never really talked about what happened to her. Listen.
I don't know who I was with, what I was doing, how long I was from the bar to my house. I'm angry, mostly because you're supposed to feel safe with yourself, and it hurts.
Tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, Amanda Chin is going to dive deeper into the concerns right here in Nashville and push city leaders for answers.
How would you feel about paying for a doctor's note? Yeah, some offices are now charging for exactly that. 6 notes, yeah, and medication refills. We're going to tell you why it's a symptom, some say, of a bigger issue.
Okay, plus all you Disney lovers, changes are coming to the most magical place on earth. The newest prices if you want to meet the mouse. And brace yourself.
Yeah, so hey, we're taking a live look from one of our cameras here showing the issues at hand. This is over in Clarksville.
Yeah, Greg said not even 2 minutes ago, Greg said, give it 5.
Insurance companies could put us out of business if they wanted to. All they have to do is be fair. But they're not. I can help.
Welcome back. Time 5:54. We've been talking about the last 5-10 minutes that, yeah, when this moves in, it's going to go from nothing to a lot real quick. And this is really showing the story here. This is a look at Clarksville. What we showed, we showed the same camera view about 10 minutes ago, and we had 1 or 2 raindrops. Look at this. I wouldn't be surprised. Look at the rainfall. I'm going to check the lightning, not just the lightning indicator, but to see if we have any potential hail coming your way in that direction. Because I know we've seen some in Battle Creek, around the Cadiz area, and also in Hopkinsville. So I'm going to turn off what we've got here. Let's go over to the radar and take a look at exactly where we're at. This actually isn't even the brunt of what's going to go through Clarksville. This is the very beginning of this system pulling in. Tons of lightning, the very heavy rainfall, and the wind, limiting visibility to almost nothing. So if you're in Cedar Hill, 23 minutes from right now, even places like Ashland City, Dickson, Pegram, Franklin, Kentucky, we're all going to work through this almost at the exact same time. You could really draw a line of who's going to all get it right at the exact same time as this moves in. So up through Greenbrier, Portland, Franklin, Springfield. So we're going to have a lot of main areas here trying to get into Nashville and try to race through or beat this storm to get into the downtown area in the coming hour or so. I do want to look for, like I mentioned, any potential hail. So I've turned this off. All the purple areas and the pink areas are thunderstorms that were tall enough to potentially bring down hailstones. I'm not seeing any of that right now in Clarksville, which is good, but the rainfall is absolutely at a very high rate. What I'm going to do is put a little number on here for you. That won't mean much to you, but the higher this number goes, the heavier the rainfall is that is coming down, and it also limits visibility greatly. When you start getting into the 50s and the 60s, that tells you very heavy rainfall. That's when I also say the areas like the purples are the ones you have to watch out for most because those numbers continue to climb. So this is very heavy rain. You're going to go from crystal clear visibility and just a light breeze with a lot of nice temperatures to a lot of heavy rainfall very quickly. And then what's going to happen for us here is this. Temperatures will drop drastically. The second the rain leaves where you're at, you're going to drop about 15 to 16 degrees in the first 45 minutes after the rain clears your area. Hopkinsville, the good case right there, 54. You were at 70 after the 5 o'clock hour even started. So just keep that in mind. Very cold after the rain.
That's wild. Greg, thank you so much. And hey, listen, folks, we're going to be here for you to track all of this every couple of minutes as needed, live through 9. Steer clear traffic in the Nashville area still holding strong, looking pretty good. This is I-65 at Long Hollow Pike in Sumner County. We do know that, by the way, Sumner County is one of the places that is under a tornado watch this morning. It is just a watch. it is not a warning. But that tornado watch for Sumner County in effect until 8 o'clock. I want to give you another live look. This is I-24 at Old Hickory Boulevard. This is as you approach the Davidson-Robertson County line. Robertson County also under a tornado watch until 8 o'clock this morning. Traffic's looking okay right here between Jolton and Madison, but we'll continue to monitor these live looks for you every couple of minutes.
Let's talk about sports, though. The Preds continuing their winning streak with the victory over the Washington Senators. This was last night. The Preds starting out the game with 2 goals from Rowan Yossi and Michael McCarron. The Senators notching 1 goal at their end of the first period.
Yeah, and then we go to near the end of the second period, and Yossi would score again. It makes it 3-1 Preds. Gustav Nyquist scores off a deflection in the last period. So all in all, a great night for the Preds. They get the win here, 4-1.
Well, listen to this. Your next doctor's visit, it might be more expensive, and you really could be surprised to hear this one. Industry experts say some physicians are now charging patients hundreds of dollars for administrative tasks. So like getting that sick note and approving medication refills.
It's just mind-boggling to think that like they're in the office with you and they have the laptop and they say, do you need a sick note? And you say yes. And they print it off of their laptop right there. But that's going to be an extra charge. Also, extra charges to return phone calls or respond to messages. It looks like this is due to, as they put it, the increased demand on their time. Now, the range of services that will be impacted here with an uptick in prices, anywhere from a few dollars for like responding to your messages to more than $100 if you call your doctor's office and ask them to refill a prescription. If you experience this in the mid-state, we would love to hear your stories. This is something that's going to impact a lot of people.
I will say it will make you think twice about calling out sick.
True.
Because you're not going to want to get that doctor's
you know what?
note.
There you go. There's another way to look at it.
Hey, we're also talking about consumer news because you may be also paying more to visit Walt Disney World next year. Okay, parents, here we go. The theme park's booking site is showing price hikes for some tickets. Prices of those already pricey, in my opinion, single day, single park tickets for 2025 are now up by $10. Some of the cheapest tickets in late August of next year at Disney's Animal Kingdom now costing $119. That is up from this year's price of $109. Now, okay, the prices of multi-day and those park hopper options, those have also gone up. Just depends on just about everything. The dates that you go to. Disney World is already pricey. You can spend easily thousands of dollars.
Oh, just in the nickel and diamond.
Oh, go ahead and save up for Ryman. All right, stay with us. 6 o'clock hour is starting right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Waking up at a Fox 17 Code Red weather alert. Nothing happening in Nashville just yet, but if you're waking up with us in Clarksville, Hopkinsville, Cadiz, Kentucky, all these areas, you know what I'm talking about. We've had the thunder, the lightning, no severe weather yet, but the possibility is there. A live look at radar in just a few moments.
Here at Shackle Island Fire Hall, the home base for search crews, finding 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers is a priority. Coming up, we talk to Sumner County EMA Director Ken Widener, who gives us some updates.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a busy Wednesday morning on Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m. The rest of your morning, whether you're getting ready for school or for work or you've got a commute, is going to be impacted by the weather, no matter where you live in the mid-state. So let's get a track on it, let you know when it's going to get here, when it'll move out with our Code Red meteorologist, Greg Bovis.
Yeah, this is one more look here. Take a look. Clarksville's still going through it. This is the rain. You can barely see the stoplights in the distance. This is what you're going through here. And this is not going to last more than a half hour once it gets to your neighborhood, but it's going to be a high impact event when it does in terms of trying to drive around. And unfortunately, it's going to get close to Nashville during some of our peak driving hours here in the next hour or two. Tornado watch in effect right along the Tennessee-Kentucky state line. Think Sumner County, Robertson County, Montgomery County. Wind advisory for everybody through noon. Wind gusts upwards of 40 to 50 miles per hour, and you're going to get that initial push of wind when these storms get to you. You're going to notice very quickly. Once the rain ends, you'll go, okay, we're good. It was 70 before the rain came in. Then it'll be 40 2 hours later. Big temperature drop. Here's the line of showers and thunderstorms are. They are quickly moving here. Paris, you were really getting a lot of lightning about 25 minutes ago. That has died down. So once you're on this side of the band of rain, temps go down, wind sticks with you, but you're also in the clear. I anticipate no additional rainfall. This is one of those days where we get multiple rounds. This is it. This is the main event. Bowling Green down through Russelville, right over Clarksville. So who's up next in the next 20 minutes? Dickson, Springfield, Franklin, Kentucky, and then eventually pulling down toward the Nashville area within the coming hour or so. A lot of things to talk about with this. The good thing is no severe weather so far. The bad thing is there have been some reports of hail through southern Kentucky. So hail and wind, the two things we're watching out for. We've just about gotten toward that portion where I mentioned about an hour ago that now once it pulls away from Clarksville, middle of Middle Tennessee, the heart of it's up next, and then the Cumberland Plateau later on this morning, about 8, 9 o'clock, things begin to move in. So we've got a lot to continue to unpack when it comes to temperatures, tracking hometown, looking again ahead to any potential hail. I'll see you again in about 5 minutes, and we'll keep working you through this here for this morning.
Greg, we will see you then. Right now, steer clear traffic. For those of you who have to get out the door in the next, 10, 15, 20 minutes or so, I wanted to show you this perspective from our TDOT reporting system. What this shows us is the entire mid-state loop commute. All right, we've got all of the interstates here: I-40, I-24, I-65, I-440, and what this shows us is a few congested zones. So if you look at the map, you can see I-24 and I-65 north of downtown Nashville a little slow coming in. That's that yellow line. That's primarily coming down I-65 where it meets up with I-24 at Trinity Lane. Also seeing a little bit of a slowdown I-40 at Briley Parkway and I-40 and I-24 on the southeast loop. So no major issues, no crashes reported right now, but we'll keep you posted again in just a couple minutes.
Let's bring you up to speed though on the breaking news out of Sumner County. That is where the search for a missing 15-year-old continues. The TBI issuing an Amber Alert yesterday for Sebastian Rogers.
Right, so why did they make the move from an endangered child alert to an Amber Alert, and where do we stand this morning in the search efforts? For the latest, we go to Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar. She's live in Hendersonville, specifically in the Shackle Island community.
That's right. And just moments ago, we spoke with Sumner County EMA Director Ken Widener, who had tears in his eyes as he described the moments a mother who has an autistic son offered her help to find 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, showing you how much finding him means to this community. Now, he's actually right behind me inside of that trailer. He says that they're getting ready for the day, working on search maps. And I'm going to step back in the frame so I can show you this map. It might be hard to see, but this is the latest map that they drew just to give you an idea of how much area they covered in trying to find Rogers over the last 3 days. Now I'm going to step out of the frame again so you can take a look what's behind me. There is really nobody here, but Widener tells me that he's expecting multiple crews to come here along with horses, law enforcement, and canines to continue this search. Now we don't have any updates on leads from him except with what we got from last night, but this is what we know so far. Rogers was last seen near Stafford Court in Hendersonville wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses on Monday. TBI says he is 5'5", about 120 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Multiple agencies are looking for the teen statewide using everything that they have. Widener also tells me that he wants to make sure that there is, I guess, some kind of misinformation about they are looking for volunteers to help in the search. That's not true. He wants me to let viewers know that they are continuing their search, but they are asking for the public's help, not volunteers, to try to find Rogers, who is autistic and without his medication. They are asking people to check their property. They're asking people to check their home surveillance video and any places that he might be hiding. Widener says that if you have any information on where the teen might be, you can contact 1-800-TBI-FIND or 1-615-451-3838. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Coming up, we are also monitoring wildfires across Oklahoma, showing you the videos and the ongoing evacuation efforts there.
My goodness. Plus, right now, 6:06 is the time. A live look in downtown Nashville. The rain is not to Nashville yet, but it's knocking on our door. We've got a heavy line of rain, storms, including lightning, even possible hail, going through Clarksville, Adams right now, approaching Springfield.
454. Come see us at Batesford 11 in Tennessee. We'll trade for anything that don't eat.
Watch Crisis in the Classroom on Fox 17 News at 5:30.
To see just the devastation they're facing.
It is. You know, we were showing you a wildfire video new this morning from Texas earlier, but this is Oklahoma, where that state's Forestry Service reports more than 8,000 acres have burned as of this morning. Crews are working to contain them in several counties. One of the biggest wildfires is in Choctaw County. They're causing evacuations, as you might imagine, road closures throughout that state.
Now, back here in Middle Tennessee, we are in a code red weather alert. Some areas already seeing those showers and the high winds. Greg.
Yeah, this has been a morning for a few of us waking up, and a lot of us are just starting the day and nothing's happened yet. Well, just because you haven't had the rain yet does not mean it's not on tap for you. I want to point out one thing, because this is a tornado watch for our northern tier of counties here in Middle Tennessee and then going up into southern Kentucky. It's a very, very low level threat. I've seen no indications of any rotation so far this morning, and it's attached to a bigger tornado watch that goes well into the Midwest. We're at the very tail end of it with the least amount of ingredients to see any rotation. So I want to put that out there just so we all know it's not a major event. We have to worry about any outbreaks, but one or two little spins can't be ruled out completely. Taking a look, Doppler radar has been moving through Clarksville, still rocking and rolling there. Bowling Green, same story out through Camden. I want to focus on not just where it's at, but where it's headed and where it's been. The Hopkinsville area up through Cadiz, and then you get out toward Battle Creek. They have had indicators of some hail that have come down. Waverly, listen up. Any minute you're going to go from a light pitter-patter of rain to very heavy rain with a lot of lightning embedded in this. When you start seeing purple on the radar, that is almost visibility reduced to zero when it comes to the rain. So Van Leer as well, about 10 minutes. Charlotte, 20 minutes away. Dickson, less than a half hour. Maybe you got to let the dog out before you head out the door this morning. Do it now if you're in these areas. Springfield, Greenbrier, and Ashland City, all within 20 minutes as well. So now we're getting closer and closer to some of the main arteries into Nashville as well. Keep that in mind. No indications of any rotation, which is good. I want to track this through for you. 7 a.m. This goes to 8 and 9 o'clock. Look at how quickly this moves through Middle Tennessee. Cumberland Plateau has the best chance between about 9 o'clock and 10 for some hail. That's your threshold of time. You still got a few more hours before it tracks through for you. We'll look at your 7-day forecast, and we'll also continue to monitor this incoming storm system for you here as we go throughout the rest of this morning, and also what that could mean for your morning drive as this does get closer and closer to the heart of the metro area.
Greg, thank you. So as you map it out on the radar, we also want to see what's being impacted out there on the highway for your steer clear traffic update. This is I-40 at 840. You can see it's over in Dickson. You can see the clouds moving in here. And right now we're not seeing any issues on this particular stretch of highway. That's good news. You do though see those sleeping trucks further up there on the road. Looks to be about 3 of them or so. So just be mindful of what's heading your way, Dickson. We'll continue mapping it all out for you.
Former President Donald Trump pulls out another primary win, this time in Michigan. I'm Connor Hansen with his reaction and what's next for voters coming up.
And given that we are your only live local news source on the air for you in Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky through 9 a.m., we've got you covered in this weather event. Look here, a live shot toward Nissan Stadium looking out toward the east. And yeah, you can see those dark clouds starting to fill in.
And get it done. Call 800-800-4600.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Zander Insurance.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. It is 6:14. Want to get to some international headlines for you this morning. We were just telling you moments ago about the wildfires in Oklahoma and in Texas. Now we go to Australia, where tens of thousands of people are being evacuated this morning.
Yeah, so crews giving us some video of this scene showing and letting us know that 30,000 folks here in this area have had to go ahead and evacuate this wildfire area in parts of Victoria. The hot, dry, and windy conditions creating extreme to catastrophic fire dangers. That is all according to the country's meteorologists. Firefighters have been battling a brush fire that started Thursday and has since destroyed about 6 homes.
Gosh, you just hate to see that. Authorities fear the conditions are going to push these flames even closer to some residential areas. They, experienced a deadly wildfire back in 2019.
I remember that, yeah.
All right, let's bring it back here closer to home and track our impacts from a weather system that is moving through. This is going to have a high impact for our morning commute.
Yes, even if we don't ever end up having a severe thunderstorm, hit the criteria of having big enough hail or strong enough wind, this is going to be an impact because the timing is different than yesterday. Think about the Nashville storms we had, or that went right through all the main arteries that get you into town or out of town. It was a little bit earlier in the morning. Now it'll be coming in the next hour, and that's not going to be great for us here. We're tracking the storms. Severe weather is possible. I want to tell you, if you're just waking up with us, we have not had any severe thunderstorm warnings so far this morning across Middle Tennessee or Southern Kentucky. Taking a look, this is just a regular rocking line of thunderstorms here with a lot of lightning, wind, and also rain. Heavy rainfall that does not last all that terribly long, usually about a half hour or so, and it begins to move out of where you're at, and then it goes to lighter rainfall, the greens and yellows on the backside of the system. But the front edge of it is where most of the wind is at. I told you Waverly a few moments ago it was going to be right there. You are just starting to see your heavier rainfall with lightning. If you look off to the north and west, yeah, you're going to see a lot of lightning strikes there as well. Van Leer, momentarily you're going to be in it. Dickson, 19 minutes now. Charlotte, you're getting a little bit of light rainfall. That's going to pick up and become the steadier rain in about 10 minutes from right now. Scooting up a little more toward the north and to the east. Springfield now into light rainfall. Ashland City as well. The main band only about 10 minutes away from you guys. This is not producing any hail now, but it has had the history of putting down some small size hail. Timing for our storms is beginning to move into the blue phase here. Yes, Bowling Green down toward Nashville all the way through Lawrenceburg area and then going eastward as well. So say you're coming into Nashville from areas like Springfield, you're going to be racing to beat the storms to get here. And I don't want you to actually race them, but I'm telling you, the rain is really close to getting to you. 7 a.m., this goes into 8, 9, and 10 o'clock. Most of our rain exiting the area by 11 into lunchtime, then we're done. What happens when the rain is over is the wind slowly dies down and the temperatures tank very quickly. Taking a look here, starting off with wind gusts right along this line that are a good 30 to 40 miles per hour at times. We've had a wind gust of 46 miles per hour already clocked in the Clarksville area about 20 minutes ago. Temperatures fall quick. Look right now. Please look up. 71 in Nashville. Clarksville was at 70 degrees a half hour ago. Now it's 50. They've lost 20 degrees of temperature in a half hour. That's going to happen for all of us as this moves through. So do not plan as you head out the door for summer-like feels or spring feels. No, you want to have the winter coat handy because later on today when you're walking back out the door, middle of the day, 40-degree temperatures if you're lucky and still windy. Wind chill will be in the 30s this afternoon. That is a shock to the system.
Greg, I'm thinking about these 2 baseball games I'm going to go to later this afternoon.
Oh, wet bleachers and wind and 40s.
Okay, praying for all you sports parents out there. Soccer, track, softball, whatever it is. Hey, listen, we've got you covered in steer clear traffic right now. What we're showing you here is a live look from I-65 at Highway 76. This is the camera that is the farthest north in our reporting system. So this is up near White House, okay? Sumner County, by the way, is under that tornado watch through 8 a.m. But as you can see, the storms haven't got here yet. We're tracking this for you and your morning impacts every few minutes.
Well, happening today, the woman accused of shooting and killing a man at a Mid-State motel is going to appear before a judge for sentencing. Brittany Foster was charged with first-degree murder in the shooting death of Josh Steele in February of 2020. Police say Foster was hired by Steele as a prostitute, but shot him within minutes of arriving at his hotel room. Foster is set to appear for sentencing at 9 o'clock this Wednesday morning.
Well, the results are in after the key state of Michigan had its presidential primary last night, and both of the front runners gliding to easy wins as we move closer to the general election.
Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has much more. Go ahead and listen.
Former President Trump moved one step closer to clinching the Republican nomination, defeating rival Nikki Haley once again.
We have to win on November 5th, and we're going to win big, and it's going to be like nothing that anybody has ever seen. It's going to be fantastic. We win Michigan, we win the whole thing.
And President Biden won Michigan easily, despite a group of voters choosing uncommitted.
I want to say we are full of dreamers, believers, doers, and most definitely leaders. And today we also showed that we're full of pro-peace, anti-war, pro-Palestinian humans.
The state has the largest Arab population in the country. Many unhappy with Biden's stance on the war in Gaza.
First of all, you know that senior officials have gone to Michigan as of late, earlier this month, to meet with Muslim and Arab Americans. And we understand, right, during a very deeply painful and personal moment, right? We understand what they're going through.
Nikki Haley, who says she will stay in the race at least until Super Tuesday, has already moved on to Colorado.
We can either go with more of the same, or we can go with something new.
Election officials said Michigan saw a strong turnout and said that could be a preview of the general election in the battleground state.
The eyes of the nation are on our state today. We know that the eyes of the country will continue to be on Michigan throughout this presidential election cycle.
In the 2020 general election, President Biden beat Trump by about 150,000 votes in Michigan. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Connor, thank you. It's 6:21 right now, and we have an update to a story that we first brought you as breaking news yesterday morning. We'll tell you what a rideshare driver says led to him shooting and killing a passenger. That story in moments. Plus, just in to the Code Red Weather Center this morning, the tornado watch for Stewart County has just been canceled. So Stewart County, you're in the all clear. This is a live look from Clarksville in Montgomery County, where a tornado watch is still active through 8 a.m.
Some did it, some not, but all with big savings. Town and Country Ford in Madison.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
Good morning, welcome back. Taking a look at a forecast here that's been ever-changing moment by moment with how quickly a storm system is moving through the area. Taking a look at a few places that are up next. This is an entire line that goes all the way Kentucky down straight through almost to the Gulf Coast. You can see Ashland City, 13 minutes. You're already getting rain, but when I'm timing this out, I'm going back to where the main edge of the rainfall is at, the oranges and the reds, that consistent, steady rainfall with the massive amounts of lightning that we've seen throughout the morning. And you can see right now, lightning indicator is turned on. 45 strikes in just this camera view. Now, if I get rid of the track and I pull this back, you can see how many lightning strikes across the viewing area. We're over 100 in the last 15 minutes. Clarksville, you're finally almost in the clear. Stewart County, you were out of the tornado watch that we had, and that's going to continue to be the case. As these storms move more and more toward the east and southeast, what's going to happen when I put this back on is you're going to see each county that gets behind this storm system moving in, you're going to have that watch canceled county by county throughout the morning hours. So keep that in mind. A few more areas that are up to bat with this will be Dickson soon. Hendersonville, Springfield is getting it right now. You're going to have this moving into the Nashville area within the next hour. So if you are leaving or if you are driving into town, even if you're driving east to west, you're driving toward this. You're going to see it on the horizon, and it's going to hit you really quick when it comes to wind. Also lightning and very heavy rainfall. Now, we are in code red for possible severe weather. We have seen none of that yet, but this is also a timing issue. When you have this move in right around 7 o'clock in the morning during a commute, that's not great. Visibility will also be reduced. Please give yourself extra time before we're heading out this morning.
Greg, thanks so much. 6:25 right now. We have our first crash of the morning in steer clear traffic. It takes us to I-24 at Bell Road. You can see TDOT is off to the right shoulder, and the good news here, it's just off to the right shoulder. No more major impact than that. It is causing a backup, though, between Antioch and Smyrna. If you wanted to go ahead and take Murfreesboro Pike this morning as a detour, you could do that because we don't have a ton of school traffic just yet. But again, that's inbound to Nashville. Also wanted to share with you one other look, and we take you to Dickson this morning. This is I-40 at 840 west of Nashville. Truckers are sleeping on the shoulder, but we show you this just to let you know that we can see the storm clouds moving in from places like Camden and that storm system approaching Dickson. Greg will be tracking it for you in your next look at your forecast.
Now to a Nashville rideshare driver who says he shot and killed a passenger, he says, in self-defense Monday night. It's a story that's an ongoing investigation.
It is. You know, we first brought this to you as breaking news yesterday morning. The only thing we knew at the time then was that there was a shooting that had happened near Fisk University. Well, new this morning, we've learned that Davin Campbell says his passenger Kyron Gardner tried to kidnap him as a rideshare driver, pulling out a gun as they approached the intersection of Herman Street and 16th Avenue North. Campbell says he pulled out his own gun, leading to the deadly gunfire. Police say Campbell, the rideshare driver, is cooperating with their investigation.
Search crews are here at Shackle Island Fire Hall in Hendersonville to begin finding 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers for the third day in a row. In a few minutes, I'll have the updates.
And Fox 17 News showing you a live look at Metro Center. Look at the clouds up there. It's looking pretty gloomy.
Fox 17 News celebrates Black History Month, honoring our local HBCUs for educating our past, present, and future leaders. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Time right now is 6:30, and you are waking up to a Code Red weather alert, and you're minutes away in the Nashville area from us seeing our first little clusters of rain before the main event gets here in the next hour. I'll be looking at the radar for you just momentarily.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here. Busy Wednesday morning on Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We are glad to be your live local news source. Always here for you through 9 a.m. when everybody else goes to that national pre-recorded programming. We stay live and local for you, and glad to be here right now, especially as we're tracking this incoming storm system.
Yeah, so look at the photo that we got from Eagle Way over in Hopkinsville, showing you the size of the... Oh, wait, I thought we were going to take a hail video. No, we're going to actually show you a live look here at the storms, the strong winds in the area.
And the good news is for Hopkinsville, you're just about in the clear. This storm system is moving pretty quickly, so it's going to roar in like a lion, right? And then be gone pretty quickly. Greg's tracking it all for us. It's also now moved into and through Clarksville. Who's next in line?
Oh, gosh. Next in line are a lot of areas that are trying to just get out the door and try to make it to Nashville. Nashville's not too far away at this point. Dixon, you're just starting up. Portland, you're starting up. Hendersonville, we're going to go to Karen soon. Karen, as soon as your live shot is done, I want you to get in the car or find somewhere to go inside, because rain going to pick up very quickly for you. I don't want you stuck in any lightning out there. Just trying to keep everyone safe here for you this morning. Clarksville, you're ending up here. You're ending. You still got a little bit of light rainfall coming down, but these are some of the areas we're going to continue to watch. I'm going to dive into the radar and show you where it is at, just for perspective, and what has been happening. So the Dickson area, the Charlotte area, Kingston Springs, Ashland City, even Hendersonville soon, Greenbrier. You're up very soon as well. So with the radar itself, when we zoom in, you're going to see a few things here. Move the lightning indicator out of the way so we can put this in the more important area. What has happened in the last half hour with the sun trying to come up? These little areas in front of the main band of rain that we have back here have been firing up. They're not as strong as the main band of rain, but you can see even just north of the Nashville area, we're already starting to see areas of some heavier rainfall and lightning strikes that are moving in. All of this trajectory is moving to the south and to the east. So we're talking about Madison, Berry Hill, Old Hickory. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, you're all working through the beginning of the rain. The main band of this is still off to the north and the west, though. What I mean is the well-organized system that's right over the Springfield area and moving its way toward Greenbrier. I want to put a track on this. Even if you're already seeing rain moving through, it's going to move by quickly, and the entire main band of rain catches up to Goodlettsville in 24 minutes. Jolton in 19 minutes, tracking through Ashland City in about 10 minutes, and Greenbrier momentarily. What is going to happen is you're going to have these light showers pop up first, a quick little burst of maybe a little heavier rainfall, a clap or two of some thunder, and then when this does track in, you're going to get a good half hour to 45 minutes of steady, heavy rainfall, limited visibility, a lot of lightning. No severe weather on the map. This is not severe weather right now, but it is highly impactful trying to get into the Nashville area, especially from the west and the northwest so far this morning.
Greg, thank you so much. 6:33 is the time. Do want to bring you back up to speed for this crash reported over here. This is I-24 Bell Road. You can see the good news is that the crash has moved over to the right shoulder, so it's really not impacting traffic too bad. This, though, is Antioch and Smyrna that is creating a backup. Murfreesboro Pike is a good detour there. We're going to take one other live look, I believe, for another area. This is over near, well, you can see the congestion and back up here. This is going to be the I-65, I-24 junction. Not a good situation. We'll continue tracking all your traffic updates, though, throughout 9 a.m.
a.m.
All right, and we continue to follow the breaking news this morning out of Sumner County, where the search continues right now for the missing 15-year-old boy. The TBI issuing an Amber Alert just yesterday for Sebastian Rogers.
It's such a tough story. The family really just wanting to find their loved one. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live in Hendersonville. This is where the search and rescue efforts are really ramping up this morning. The sun is rising and folks are going to get out there, Karen.
Good morning. It's the third day in a row where the search continues to find 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, who officials say is autistic, making it hard to find his way home. This whole time he's been without medication, which is why finding him is so important. Search crews have been working around the clock to find the teen, including Sumner County EMA Director Ken Widener. He tells me that he's only slept 3 hours in the last 3 days, to give you an idea of how hard people are working to find him. And he's actually in the building behind me to my left here on Shackle Island Fire Hall with others for the search today. The mayor is here as well. Now take a look at this map to see what the search looked like. This is the amount of ground they have already covered on foot, horse, and car. The same kind of search is expected today to try to cover more ground. Multiple agencies across the state, along with the community, are trying to find Rogers. TBI says he is 5'5", about 120 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen near Stafford Court in Hendersonville wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses on Monday. The public is asked to give up any information they have on Rogers, hopefully bringing some relief to his family, as you can imagine, who are worried about his disappearance. If you have any information, you can contact 1-800-TBI-FIND or 1-615-451-3838. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you so much. Hey, right now we're going to show you a live look after this, but a long-time mid-state minister's life is turned upside down after he's arrested for DUI. Coming up on Fox 17 News this morning in our 7 o'clock hour, why his arrest and the following legal proceedings really sparked some outrage.
Okay, let's talk weather. You could see just moments ago in Karen's live look from Hendersonville, rain is falling there. We're also seeing it coming through places like Ashland City, Springfield, Coopertown, Greenbrier, Old Hickory. You guys are either getting it now or you're about to, and heavy rain.
Dessert? Visit HelloFresh.com to learn more.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Destin Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
6:39 your time right now, and the rain is approaching very quickly the downtown Nashville area. Many surrounding areas already seeing light to moderate rainfall, but the heavy band still a little ways away from downtown itself. A lot to get to. Let's dive right in. Taking a look, southern Kentucky, we're seeing oranges and reds and yellows. That means heavy rain, heavy consistent rain, and this is an entire line worth of it. Now we're in code red for potential severe weather. If you're just waking up and you go, what happened overnight? Nothing has come into the Nashville area until right now, and we have seen no severe weather along this line here in our viewing area overnight into this morning. We've seen a ton of lightning. It is very, very windy, and visibility when this does pass over gets to be a little bit rough. So a few places that are already getting the light rainfall, like Portland, the main line of the heavier rainfall moving in momentarily. This is a really fast-moving system. It's not going to hang over you for too long, but when it does, it becomes a decent impact to just trying to drive around town. You can see here the Vanderbilt area down through Berry Hill, Oak Hill, Radnor Lake. This is the very beginning for you. You'll get a few little pushes of some moderate rainfall before the heavier stuff gets to you in about a half hour from now, and that is back off toward the west. Charlotte, you're just starting it. Dickson, you're starting it as well. White Bluff, Ashland City still in it. All of this is moving away. Now, what I will tell you is once this tracks through your neighborhood, after that last raindrop that you see from this line, you're done for the day. So that's good news. Once we get out of this first initial push, that's all we have. Nashville, a couple little light sprinkles. We haven't really seen much downtown just yet. A little light rainfall over the airport. Keep that in mind if you're heading out in that direction. It's going to pick up. Joelton, light rainfall as well. So what does this mean after the rain is gone? This happens. 71 right now in Nashville. An hour from now, we'll be in the 50s, if not 40s. That's what's going to happen very quickly. Once you fall back into the 40s, you stay there all day long. So do not prepare to go outside today and think, ooh, we have another spring day. Not even close. 12 hours from now, we're going to have wind chills in the 30-degree temperature range. That's where we're going after this rain moves through. We'll keep tracking it for you about every 5 minutes.
30 degrees. It's hard to believe. That is sure the Tennessee swing. Okay, Greg is tracking the timeline. We're also tracking your traffic. Want to take you here, I-65. This is Old Hickory. This is over in Nashville. So right now you're seeing some of that lightning that was popping up on the screen. We're not seeing it right now, but it was there a minute ago. We're also going to take you to Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. This is Gallatin Pike, where you were seeing the showers coming down right here on the camera. That camera also shaking back and forth because of the gusty winds. A little bit of a backup here, but that is your typical Wednesday morning commute, but just added even more timing now because of the showers. We're going to continue tracking all of your traffic and get you out the door safely, save you some time in your Steer Clear traffic updates. Just ahead, foreclosures are on the rise as Americans are dealing with, some tough times. We're going to tell you what's ahead with the Biden administration, what they're proposing, and why some believe it's only a temporary fix. And of course, we're continuing the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Alert. This is a live look over in Dickson. Look at these skies looking dark and gloomy. We're going to track that timeline and help you get out the door.
Reveal yet.
Everything is on the line.
Tonight at 7 on Fox 17.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
.44, keeping our eyes on the radar right now. You're going to be hearing my voice a lot in the next half hour because we're starting to see some heavier rainfall finally make its way into the Nashville area. And this is going to be only about an hour event, and then it will be done. But we've been talking about it, and when it does move in, we've been seeing a lot of lightning with this, and it also is giving us heavy enough rainfall to greatly reduce visibility. Watch out for ponding as well. If you're trying to make it into Nashville from the north, say 65 south toward Nashville, maybe you're taking 24 from the northwest or even 40 from the west through the Dickson area out toward Nashville. Dark clouds, lots of lightning, that heavy rainfall. This is not severe weather. It is extremely inconvenient weather for this time of the day, trying to get the day started and get out on the roads when most people are doing the same thing you are. Zooming into the Nashville area, and we'll take a look at some of the towns and some of the corridors that we do have to be mindful of. So 440 at 40, just south and west of town. I think Vanderbilt area, especially like once you get in that general vicinity. Ooh, look at that. Radar just updated. Look what happened here. I'm going to circle it for you if you didn't catch it. We went from reds and oranges to areas of purple. What this is telling us is that all the energy in front of this storm system that is out in this direction is feeding into this system. So keep that in mind. These storms and showers could get a little on the stronger side before they do die down, especially the ones that are ahead of the main line. So all of these little clusters of storms have much more energy to fire off with than that main line behind them. I want to put a few tracks on this for you to give you an idea of where and when that main line of rain is going to get in. The Nashville area is seeing heavy rainfall right now. Not a ton of lightning with those few little pop-ups that have just flared up in the last half hour, but good that's full, 15 minutes. Belmead, 20. These are conservative times because this thing is moving really fast. Hendersonville, you've already got the light to moderate rainfall. The heaviest rainfall moves in less than a half hour. And this also could mean implications out at the airport if you're catching a flight. Keep that in mind. Check your flight times because heavy rainfall and tall thunderstorms like this for a line that is this far in each direction can sometimes delay a flight just a touch. Keep that in mind. No severe weather is on the radar right now. There is a tornado watch in effect for a few of our counties, but as of right now, we have not seen any severe weather at any point overnight into this morning. The timeline has just been the most worrisome thing about this when it comes to trying to have a safe start to your day. The next check of your forecast coming up in a few minutes right now. Look out your weather window.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk. These folks are on the move with a winter sport called skijoring, from the Norwegian word meaning ski driving. Those you see here are pulled by a horse, but dogs or cars can do the pulling as well. There's also an alliance promoting independent skijoring races in the U.S. And Francis the dog may not be skijoring, but this new bouncy ball and the snow provide plenty of excitement for this playful pooch. For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
Steer clear traffic time right now at 6:47.
Steer clear traffic update right now at 6:47. Do want to take you to two live cameras that we're checking out to show you the current conditions. You can see it is very, very rainy. It's going to be out here on where, Jen?
This is I-65 at Highway 76. So this is north of Nashville, up near Sumner County, right? So we're talking White House and up that way. This is that system as it moves through north of Nashville, tracking through for you. And then a look west of Nashville too. This is I-40 at White Bridge. Erica, look off in the distance there toward the top of the screen, and you can see the really dark skies. As that storm makes its way closer to Nashville. And this is what we're tracking as part of our Code Red Weather Alert live through 9.
We're talking about consumer news now. There is a new report showing an uptick in commercial and home foreclosures in this year, and we're just getting started here. So let's take a closer look at the numbers.
Yeah, so the January foreclosures right here on your screen, both for commercial and residential real estate, finding that they're up about 10% month over month. That means from December to January, and then up 5% over the last year. President Biden says the spending that he's doing right now is connected to these foreclosures.
The American Rescue Plan provided $350 billion to state and local governments. And many of you put that money up for cops on the beat, bringing down violent crime across the nation, which we've done. To bring 500,000 teachers and other school personnel back into the classrooms. To prevent foreclosures and evictions, to keep 8 million families in their homes.
Well, that doesn't necessarily connect with the foreclosures being up, but here we are. Market watchers concerned about especially commercial real estate bubbles that could pop as folks slow their spending.
We're also tracking wildfires this morning, talking about what's happening over in Texas that's making national headlines. They are dealing with fires. Take a look at this video here on the screen in parts of the Lone Star State for the second straight day. The Smokehouse Creek fire in Canadian Texas area is the largest, and crews are now asking residents to just shelter in place or evacuate depending on where you are. This fire has already impacted more than 200,000 acres. Local crews are also fighting the Grapevine Creek fire. This is another part of that area over in Texas. So we know that it's impacting about 3 different counties there. And as you might imagine, just a mess, very scary for folks who are dealing with this.
Absolutely. Right now, back here closer to home, we have a sensitive story to bring you involving violence against women. There are studies that now show 1 out of every 6 women in this country are survivors of rape or attempted rape.
Women in the Nashville area now telling Fox 17 News that the city needs to take these numbers seriously.
Tori Reisner is someone that we had a chance to speak with, and she says she never goes out on Broadway anymore after someone put roofies in her drink. Reisner says she didn't file a police report because she felt like she would never see justice. Before agreeing to our Fox 17 News Amanda Chen, Ms. Reisner says she never really talked about what happened to her.
I don't know who I was with, what I was doing, how long I was from the bar to my house. I'm angry, mostly because you're supposed to feel safe with yourself, and it hurts.
Tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, our Amanda Chen is pushing city leaders for answers.
And Crisis in the Classroom here on your Wednesday morning. We continue to try to get answers regarding accusations that the Tennessee Education Commissioner doesn't meet requirements to be in her position.
Now, this does come after Democratic lawmakers claiming that the Commissioner, Lizette Reynolds, did not have a teaching license, and they were making other accusations as well. They say she lives in Texas. So we wanted to get answers from Tennessee's Department of Education. When we did not get a response by email, our Fox 17 News crews, as you see in this video, we showed up at the office and we got this response.
Is she here today?
I don't know where she is at the moment.
When was the last time she came here?
I'm not going to answer that. We're not going to you can reach out and we'll be glad to answer your questions, but she works in this building every day.
Brian Blackley, the media director who we talked with, did send us an email reading in part, the commissioner's credentials and professional experience qualify her to serve as commissioner. Fox 17 News has also learned that the governor is standing by the commissioner.
Some doctors are now charging for a sick note. What do you think about that? Also, medication refills may be charging for that too. We're going to tell you why they say some of the issues are a symptom of a bigger problem.
Are you in a position where you're thinking about retiring? Maybe not next year, maybe a few years down the road. Well, this morning, we're going to take a closer look at how both older and younger generations say they're struggling to make those retirement ends meet.
And we're hearing the thunder rolling right here in Metro Center. And look at that lightning on the screen. This is over at Nissan Stadium east. Okay, east of Nashville.
Wow.
Right there in the distance, you can see the dark, gloomy clouds. We're going to continue tracking.
See Loyalty Cash during the Thrill of the Drive sales event at Matthews Nissan. Get up to $9,590 off the MSRP on a new Armada. Plus, get a lifetime warranty. MatthewsNissan.com.
Good morning and welcome into Fox 17 News this morning, 5 minutes before 7 o'clock. Look how dark it just got.
Wow.
This is Dickson. This is a live look from our Dickson camera west of Nashville. This is where Greg is currently tracking the storms moving through. We're going to check in with Greg here momentarily to let you know where the storms are heading next, because we've got a big old line stretching across the entire viewing area. We'll let you know who's next and how long it's going to take for these to move through.
All right, your next doctor's visit, it might be more expensive. You're probably going to be surprised to hear this, okay? Industry experts say some physicians, they are now deciding to go ahead and charge patients hundreds of dollars potentially for administrative tasks like writing a sick note and then approving medication refills.
I know what you're probably thinking. That sounds outrageous. But doctors say the reason they're charging these new fees is because there is growing demand on their time, and they're trying to keep people from inundating them with non-urgent requests, right? So think, I don't know, maybe somebody who calls the doctor's office 3 times a day and is like, I need this now, I need this now, I need this now.
Yeah.
So trying to stave off some of those
repeated calls.
Not urgent to them, repeated calls, yeah.
So it's just an interesting story that's trending over on Fox17.com. Let us know what you think about it by heading to our Fox Nashville Facebook page. Right now, though, we want to check in with our Code Red meteorologist. A lot going on out there, very dark and gloomy. We saw the lightning over near Nissan Stadium moments ago.
Yes, we've seen a few thunderstorms that have been popping up and kind of bouncing around downtown ahead of this main line that is moving in. That Dickson camera, it almost looks like it's night out there. The sun is already up for us here, but it does not show when you look at some of these cameras that are underneath these areas of very heavy rainfall. Taking a look, Mount Juliet about 10 minutes from right now. Lightning strikes just in this camera view, which is not a big chunk of area. We've had about 6 in the last 15 minutes. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that really is when you figure out how zoomed in we are. Gallatin, you're getting a momentary break from this rain that just moved out of your area. Still light, but the heavier stuff is done for about 10 minutes. Then the back edge of this begins to move back in. So you get a little bit of a reprieve. A lot of lightning up by you, though. And then taking a look going out Goodlettsville. 6 minutes until the rain really picks up and gets even heavier. Once this band of rain settles in, we're going to get a good half-hour worth of rain that is steady, consistent, heavy, and gives you camera views like what you saw from that Dickson camera. Old Hickory, 21 minutes, and Hendersonville, 16. You're already seeing rain in a lot of these spots, but the main event arrives around then of the more consistent and prolonged shower and thunderstorm activity. Ooh, Bellevue, just to your north and east. I'm sure everyone is hearing thunder this morning, and it can be a little unsettling if you're just waking up to this in the Nashville area. We have had no severe weather so far this morning, but we're in a code red for this, the impact to your morning, and then the drastic shift in temperature that happens after it. Centerville, about 9 minutes away from right now, you're going to be seeing this rain move in. You're going to go in some areas that are down to the south that don't have as many of the pop-ups, from almost no rainfall to almost like a bucket is just dropping water on you out of nowhere. That's how we're going to be this morning. I can also tell you, though, setting the scene, everywhere that has already had the rain, so Clarksville, Hopkinsville, Camden, if you're done with it, once that last drop falls, you are done with it for the day. There's not going to be any extra rain on the backside of this system, so we'll keep tracking it, any potential severe weather. Next time you see me, we're going to talk about a sharp drop in temperature as we go into the 7 o'clock half hour. I'm going to get a new look at future track as well to continue to take you through this. We'll be your only live and local news source from 7 to 9, so if you're getting ready to get going and you're driving anywhere we just named, stick with us. I'll keep you covered.
Speaking of driving, steer clear traffic time right now. We're going to get you a live look right now of the commute coming into downtown Nashville. This is I-65 where it merges with I-24. This is near Trinity Lane. This is always a bad spot for backups, but even more so this morning. Folks just taking it extra slow coming on into Nashville. Speaking of north of Nashville, I do just want to point out a few things we're tracking. Pretty big backup between Pleasant View and Jolton along I-24. That's going to increase your commute time from Clarksville. We've also got something going on I-24 in Sango. Looks like it could be a crash, but we don't have eyes on it. Big backups this morning on the bypass, Vietnam Veterans Boulevard in Hendersonville, and a little slow coming through Millersville. So that's your commute story for north of Nashville. We will get a live look south and west of Nashville in just a couple of minutes.
Meanwhile, in consumer news, there is a new survey showing that many retirees are struggling to make ends meet, and Gen Zers may not even be able to retire at all. Kind of sad. A survey done by the real estate company called Clever finding that 46% say no, they're not prepared for when they run out of their savings. Financial experts say to retire comfortably, older Americans need a little over, get this, $1 million in the bank. But a good chunk of retirees only have an average of nearly $1,43,000 rather. A separate study by McKinsey & Company finding 23% of Gen Z say they do not expect to retire at all because of, quote, lack of fair pay. Stay with us. Our 7 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Waking up here, bottom right-hand side of your screen. We are rocking and rolling with showers and thunderstorms this morning. No severe weather, but it is coming right through the heart of Nashville, right in the middle of our morning drive. So we're going to keep tracking this for you. You can see top left-hand side of your screen. It is gloomy. There is lightning, and there's a ton of rain we have to get to.
Okay, bit of a doozy, but we're going to help make sure you steer clear. This is I-65 at Morris Lane, where you can see not a high impact in the weather department right now. But as Greg mentioned, we're tracking it for you as we are your live local news source through 9 a.m.
A very busy morning. Do want to start, though, by thanking you for waking up with us, all of us here at Fox 17 News on a Wednesday. I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. We've got Greg Bovas here now to get you the very latest in this Code Red weather alert.
This has been a morning already.
Yeah.
And now a lot of us are just getting to the heart of it here. If you're waking up and you're going, what has happened overnight? No severe weather so far, but definitely a lot of lightning, thunder, and a lot of things to get to. Let's take a look here at what you're getting up and what you're moving around to. A lot of our main arteries into the Nashville area that you might typically be waking up now and getting ready to take have rain that have overtaken them. There is a tornado watch that is in effect for a few of our counties here in Middle Tennessee. What is going to happen is as this line of storms I'm going to show you tracks away from these areas, we're going to be chipping these off one at a time. So I'm not seeing any signs of rotation. We have not all night into this morning. It's part of a bigger watch that goes well into the Midwest where they have seen some tornado warnings. This has just been very heavy rain, a lot of wind, and tons of loud lightning as well. Here's the big picture. Everywhere from the Kentucky state line to the Alabama state line, we're seeing some shower and thunderstorm activity. Now, where is this heading? Mount Juliet, about 5 minutes. You've not really seen much of anything this morning. Light rainfall first, heavier rainfall after that. How do you find the heavier rainfall? And the yellows and oranges. The hotter the color, the heavier the rain. Also, a lot of lightning exiting the Gallatin area, but continuing to move toward the north and to the east when it comes to that particular cell. A few of these ahead of the main line have been meandering here, kind of taking all the energy out of the atmosphere. But look at some of the spots that are really into the rain right now. White House, Joelton. You get out toward Charlotte. You go toward other areas like Ashland City. Ashland City, you're getting a little bit better, which is nice. Kingston Springs, yeah, you got about another half hour worth as well. Bellevue, you have 1 or 2 more showers that are moving in the next couple of minutes. And now we're going to start talking about this southern edge once the northern end gets through Nashville that will be impacting I-65 northbound toward Nashville. So we're not quite done, but 40 each direction coming in. Now not looking so good, and same with 65. If you're trying to come in from the north, you've got rain almost the entire way down. Centerville, light rain falls there. The main event gets there in about 4 minutes. What I say by main event is the bulk of our rain, lightning, and the thunder, and also including in the wind. We have had tracked wind gusts up to 46 miles per hour on the leading edge of this main portion of the weather system. 46 degrees is not deceiving. If you're walking out the door right now and it feels like 70, you are not wrong. As soon as this rain leaves your area, we're going to drop about 20 degrees in the matter of about 45 minutes. We'll take a look at that in the next check of your forecast.
Greg, thank you very much. We do have a situation that's building on I-40. You were just mentioning I-40. This is at Spence Lane where we have a car pulled off to the right shoulder, causing a brake check, and we can see the rain is falling here. This is just east of the downtown loop where we've got traffic, the headlights you see filing into Nashville. A good detour here would be Elm Hill Pike or Murfreesboro Pike, depending on where you are. But if you typically come through this I-24, I-40 interchange, you might want to go ahead and take one of those detours. Greg was mentioning I-40 on both sides of Nashville being a bit of a mess. This is I-40 and Highway 70 in Bellevue. And yeah, you can see a lot of water out there on the roads. No lightning in Bellevue right now, at least in this camera view, but we're tracking it in Nashville. Live looks in moments. We have a Fox 17 News alert right now. An investigation is underway into the death of a baby in Clarksville. And we do want to warn you, The details of this story might be difficult to hear. Police say they got a call to a home on Citadel Drive in regards to a baby that had been shot. They say the child died there at that location. You can see it is just south of Tiny Town Road and Allen Road. Police say they are still trying to piece together what happened. They are turning the case over to the district attorney once their investigation is complete, and we will be bringing you updates as we learn more.
We're just going to keep grinding it out and keep getting additional resources in here and keep the search ongoing.
At 7:05, Fox 17 News, we have a breaking news update regarding the search out of Sumner County. We heard from first responders there. They're letting us know they are not going to slow down any of their rescue efforts. As the weather ramps up, right, they are searching for a 15-year-old missing autistic teenager. His photo is right behind me here. Right now, though, Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live where the crews are right behind her. Searchers, Karen, are still working around the clock. What can you tell us? I know you've been out there since about 4 o'clock this morning.
Well, I want you to take a look at this weather first. It's rainy, it's windy, and these are the conditions in which search crews are willing to go out and venture in to find 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, who officials say is autistic and has been without his medication. In fact, Rogers could be outside in these conditions for all that we know, but we don't have this information right now. According to the Sumner County EMA Director, Ken Wider, he tells me that the only information that we have is from last night. There are no new leads, but I want you to take a look behind me at the amount of people who are showing up to find Rogers. And we also know that the Sumner County mayor is here along with multiple other people who are just interested in making sure the boy gets home safely to his family. At this moment, again, we don't know his whereabouts, which is exactly why this search effort continues for the 3rd day in a row. Now, I want you to take a look at this map on your screen to see the amount of ground they've already covered in the last 3 days on foot, horse, and car. Ken Widener tells us a little bit more about how the search effort is going.
We've got a 15-year-old boy, and he's left his home, and we are literally throwing everything we can: helicopters, fixed wings, FLIR, horses, K9, search personnel, and we are literally. And on the initial search, we cover the initial area, and then we go over it again, and then we start expanding.
TBI says Rogers is 5'5", 120 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes, last seen wearing black sweatpants, black sweatshirt, and glasses. If you have any information, you can contact 1-800-TBI-FIND, or you can contact 1-615-451-3838. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Gosh, Karen, thank you. Yes, quite the conditions there in Sumner County, and to think that those rescue teams and that young boy could be out in that right now. A live look from Nashville, and we are watching the storms as they move through the mid-state. Want to let you know, Greg just told us we have 2 counties that have now been removed from the tornado watches. Robertson County.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Home Buyers.
Good morning, 7:10 is your time right now, taking a look. And we're going to continue about every 5 minutes just to dive into the radar, because every time we look at it, a new development, whether it's lightning, whether it's a new town that's getting right into the rain, or just having to deal with some ponding in many areas, because we're thinking now everywhere, basically, if you take a look, that is I-65 north. I said this last time. North, I should say southbound from the north of Nashville, you're seeing a lot of rainfall. And then everything 40 from the west trying to come in is not looking good either. If you are driving from the east and going westbound toward Nashville on 40, you're not seeing a ton of rain yet, but this is moving in your direction. So you'll be driving toward all the rain moving in. I have some good news though right now. If you are on this side of the rain, look at the screen, everywhere over here, Clarksville, Dickson, Hopkinsville, you get off to all of our northwesternmost counties, you're done. You're done with the rain, you're done with the lightning, and you are done with the thunder. I'll tell you that we have it right now downtown. I'm going to zoom in real quick and just kind of show you where it is at when it comes to the heart of the metro area itself, because we have dark sky. We've been hearing rumbles of thunder all morning long here for the last hour, I should say. And this is going to continue to move to the east. We've got it in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, Joelton, Mount Juliet, Berry Hill, and also just exiting Ashland City now. Everywhere on the backside of this, once the heavy rain ends, you'll have about a half-hour worth of lighter rainfall on the backside too. Lightning strikes in just this camera view, we've had 33 in the last 15 minutes. Mount Juliet, I've been calling you out the last 15 minutes. Well, you got about another minute or two before that rain does move in. Lebanon, you're going to be talking about some rainfall, and this is thinking, you know, I-40 all the way out toward the Lebanon area. You're going to be picking up the rainfall. And that would be westbound, I should say east, westbound coming from the east side of town. Gallatin, a lot of rainfall. The White House area, Pleasant Valley. Now, I want to focus on not just the rain that is coming down. It's there right now. I want to focus on temperature. We're going to start with the 7-day forecast, then talk about what's happening locally, town by town. We're going to be at 46 degrees later on today. Look at the right side of your screen. Pick out your hometown. We have temperatures right now that are near 70 degrees in Nashville. Okay, we're at 70 right now. We're going to be in the 40s in about 2 hours from right now. So we're not using umbrellas. We're planning with raincoats, rain boots, and winter gear for later on today because we do get aggressively colder. This morning it was 71 degrees before the rain moved into Nashville. It'll be 28 degrees waking up tomorrow morning. That is nothing to look kindly at here. You have to take it seriously. And we're going to have a lot of standing water throughout the morning hours, so keep that in mind as well.
Greg, thank you very much. Let's talk steer clear traffic. We've got a crash in one of those zones where you were reporting heavy rain. This is I-40 at Charlotte. This looks to be inbound to Nashville. All right, so this is going to impact all of our commuters coming in from Bellevue, for example, or if you're in Dickson or Kingston Springs. Getting a white pickup off to the right shoulder. We've got an all stop of traffic here on I-40 at Charlotte as first responders try to get that truck off to the shoulder. And then the fire truck is going to follow. I can see a TDOT worker standing right smack dab in the middle of the interstate holding up traffic as we speak. So TDOT is on hand. It looks like the crash was in the left lane, but they've now moved it to the right shoulder. If you want to come in this morning from Bellevue on Highway 70, you could do that. Just know, that's a lot of stop and go in very heavy rain. A couple of other spots where we're seeing significant slowdowns include I-24 to the northwest and Vietnam Veterans Boulevard up in Hendersonville. Tennessee's education commissioner under fire for what is reportedly not on her resume, but we'll tell you why the response to the claims of the fact that she's not a Tennessee resident and not qualified, what the reports have to say that we've been able to uncover. And we continue to tell the story of the mid-state volleyball standout who lost both legs.
Made for eccentric adventurers, trailblazers, and the culture curious. Discover a city that leaves a lasting impression. Plan your trip at charlottesgotalot.com.
Welcome back and good morning. Time right now is 7:17 and listen up. Now we've been talking about the main line moving into Nashville. When will it get here? When will the wind really pick up? I just looked outside. Our station here is in Metro Center. It is quite literally raining sideways. I mean, you can barely even see out the window to the building next door. And that's what it's going to be like on the roadways here this morning when you're leaving your house to just try to get going. I think a lot of our highways are elevated, so now we're talking about even stronger wind. We've had wind gusts upwards of 40 to 45 miles per hour. We have lightning and we have heavy rainfall coming down right now. I'm going to zoom in and get hyper close to just the Nashville area itself. You think we're 65 and 40 and 24 all bring us in. All of those areas from every direction right now, right in the Nashville area, are seeing this heavy rainfall. There are areas, there are little clusters, look right here, of purple that are on the map. That means that the visibility here, I would say, just north of Nashville is near zero right now. The heart of Nashville itself, directly downtown, is missing the band a little bit right now, but you're not in the clear. Literally momentarily, Vanderbilt, Berry Hill, Donaldson, we're going to see all this pick up. What is near Donaldson? Right there. Nashville International Airport going to have a lot of heavy rain with lightning moving in. Check your flight times. Make sure you're good to go. Hendersonville, a lot of heavy rainfall as well. My advice right now to everyone who can see their town on this map in the reds, Gallatin, Hendersonville, Nashville proper, or even areas to the east, Lebanon and Mount Juliet, if you can let this pass you by, it won't take more than an hour, you're going to be in a much better condition to drive into Nashville than if you try to beat this thing into town, because it does pick up very quickly. And there are many areas where we might even see cars pull off the road. Make sure you're using your windshield wipers, you're using your beams. Give a lot of extra space to people when they're out on the road, because that is the really big thing for us here. Weather Story is painting a picture of temperature as well. Look at where the line is of where the showers are, and then take a look at the line of where the temperatures are. It's still 70 in Nashville. Once the rain passes, you will fall into the 40s going into the afternoon. Please dress accordingly. We've seen no severe weather, but this really is a high impact situation when it comes to this morning's drive.
Greg, thank you so much. We do want to check in to see how this is all impacting your steer clear traffic reports. We're going to take you over to Hendersonville, Vietnam Vets at Gallatin Pike, and you can see, yes, there is certainly a brake check in this area. The good news is when you see this spot, you're not seeing any disabled vehicles or crashes that are going to be impacting your commute. But yeah, the weather is certainly playing a big role in how you're going to see the conditions playing out on the highway. We're also going to take another look. Want to take you to this other spot as we scroll on down here. This is going to be the I-24 I-65 junction. Woo, the camera is rocking and rolling. You can see heavy rains in this camera spot. So again, just an area where you're not seeing any crashes, just a big slowdown, a big brake check. Take it easy out there. We'll continue checking in on our TDOT traffic way maps throughout this morning.
You know, another thought too is when it rains real hard like this, it's hard to see the potholes.
Yeah, and see, then you have to like dip and dodge, and it's a mess out there.
Be careful. 7:20 is the time right now. Crisis in the classroom, and we continue to dig into the accusations that the Tennessee Education Commissioner doesn't meet the requirements to be in her position.
Yeah, this does come after Democratic lawmakers claim Commissioner Lizette Reynolds does not have a teaching license. Another issue some say is that she lives in Texas. Well, we here at Fox 17 News, we told you this. We wanted to get answers from Tennessee's Department of Education. So when we did not get a response via email, you can see in this video, we showed up at the office asking, hey, where is she? Can we ask her in person?
Is she here today?
I don't know where she is at the moment.
When was the last time she came here?
I'm not going to answer that. We're not going to do, you can reach out and we'll be glad to answer your questions, but she works in this building every day.
All right, you heard Brian Blackley there say she works in this building every day. The media director we talked to did also send us an email reading in part, the commissioner's credentials and professional experience do qualify her to serve as commissioner, and the governor is standing by, having her as the leader.
A longtime mid-state minister's life torn upside down after he was arrested for DUI, but after months of investigating, shocking test results that has local law enforcement officers questioning, some say, the protocol. We're going to have more on this story from Kevi Avellino at 7:45.
Management and subsequently suffered injuries. You may be entitled to compensation. Call Bart Durham Injury Law at 615-242-9000 for a free case evaluation.
Welcome back, 7:24, your time still working through this messy weather maker here this morning that's going all the way from the Kentucky state line all the way down to the Alabama state line. The heavier rainfall mainly, I would say, from the Centerville area moving up toward Kentucky. And you can actually see two arrows that have been drawn here on the map here that indicate heavier bursts of some rain that are moving their way toward I-65. What I want to do for you is just take a look, though, first downtown and just point out where the heaviest of the rainfall is, right around downtown. And you can see red almost everywhere. West Nashville, you get down toward East Nashville, the Bordeaux area. You go down even out toward Vandy and Nashville itself, of course, seeing a lot of heavy rainfall. We are probably in the bulk of what we're going to get this morning. Give it a half hour and things will begin to get a little bit better, but this is very windy. Heavy rainfall, and there have been lightning strikes. Only one on this camera view, but we're so zoomed in that one lightning strike, even within 10 miles of any radius, is still more than uncomfortably close. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to zoom you back out to a few other areas, and we'll put a couple of tracks on this system. So again, resetting where we're at, the entire area has just a split down the middle almost of who's getting the rain and who is not getting it. Areas to the left, Dickson, Clarksville, Hopkinsville, go about your business and plan for some winter-like feeling weather. Yeah, you're in the 40s right now. You'll stay there all day long. Let's take a look. Areas that are off toward the east, you're still in the 60s and 70s. You're feeding the storm as it comes in with all the energy you've got this morning. Carthage, 23 minutes until this gets to you. You'll get a few broken showers first, and then you'll get that main line that moves in. And trust me, we just saw it out here, out the window here at the studio, when that first main line gets to you, or that main line does. Also, if it sounds like geese in here, that is our scaffolding. literally where our lights are hanging from, rocking around here in studio. And it's right above my head, so very comforting. Taking a look here, Doppler radar going more to the south. Belmead moving in right now. Vandy, we just showed you another burst of heavy rainfall moving in as we speak. Brentwood, now we're starting to talk the first time this morning about areas south of Nashville, down I-65 that are beginning to get the rain moving in. So think Brentwood, and then eventually talk about Franklin, areas like that, Leapers Fork, the rain is picking up. So now we're emphasizing a little bit more south, and we've been emphasizing more north. We'll keep looking at these cells as they begin to get a little stronger and continue to track that main line into the area, coming up every 5 minutes in Checks of your Code Red forecast.
Greg, we're also tracking that main line that's coming through in your Steer Clear traffic updates. Do want to take a live look out here, I-65. Greg, you were talking about I-65. So this is the I-65, I-24 junction, and you can see those bursts of heavy rainfall for sure in this camera shot. And the good news is that we're not seeing any crashes out here as of right now, but that could change. So just give yourself extra time again for this particular area, because this looks like a mess. A major brake check in this spot right here. Again, I-65, I-24 junction. That's what we're looking at. We'll continue sharing those Steer Clear traffic updates, though, of course, here on Fox 17 News throughout 9 o'clock. We're also going to continue talking about the search in Sumner County for this missing 15-year-old autistic teenager. Yeah, it's now an Amber Alert, so we're talking about why they decided to move it to an Amber Alert, the ongoing investigation, and then around-the-clock search efforts. We were hearing from the rescue crews right there who are getting...
Hughes and Coleman, and get it done. Call 800-800-4600.
Get severe weather alerts. Download the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather app.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning, 7:30 right now. We have had several tornado watches pop up and expire through the course of the morning. For example, Robertson County, you're in the all clear. Montgomery County, you're in the all clear. We're going to monitor any new developments as they come in right here in Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky.
We're also talking about the breaking ground efforts that are beginning to be taking place in a Middle Tennessee business most people will never visit. Why it's still going to have a huge impact, though, on so many lives.
And the high impact to traffic this morning certainly being felt as these storms move through your morning commute. We have got you covered, though, live through 9 a.m.
Hey, I do want to start, though, by thanking you for waking up with us here on a busy Wednesday morning on Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m. And we do start with the latest in this Code Red weather alert. We mentioned a moment ago some of the tornado watches that have popped up and expired. As we bring our Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus in now live. Greg, get us up to speed on where those watches stand and what we're seeing right now.
Only through portions of Southern Kentucky, really, at this point. We continue to chop them off. I'm getting a little new information right now, so what I'm going to do is drive the radar, and then I'll come back here and we'll get updates to those before we even go to the next commercial break. I want to give you where it's at right now when it comes to the heavier rainfall. We have a few areas now that we're talking south of the Nashville area. Brentwood, Oak Hill, Berry Hill, where the heavier rain is moving in. And these areas, you know, involve I-65, which is south of downtown. We get a little bit closer to the I-40 corridor, Mount Juliet, and eventually Lebanon, going right through Hermitage right now. Reds and oranges and purples showing very heavy rainfall. The one thing we're all getting, even if we're not getting the thunder and the lightning, we are getting all of the wind from this. Let's go down further south of the Brentwood area toward Leapers Fork, Thompson Station, even Franklin. Now, you're already getting the rain. But I would say 6 to 15 minutes from now, depending upon how close you are to I-65, that main band gets to you. The more north you get, the quicker you're going to get it. But just know, what I mean by main band is this little light rainfall and these pockets of more decent, moderate rainfall, they're kind of quick moving and they're easy to handle. The visibility isn't as bad. This is what brings the wind in. You'll get that initial wind gust when the rain really picks up in droves for you, and then it makes the visibility go to near zero. So when that crosses I-65, it is not going to be pretty. Taking a look, though, this is the main picture. This is the main band that is moving through, but that's not all of the story. This really is the downtown area. What is nice about this picture compared to 10 minutes ago, we're starting to see some greens moving closer to downtown, meaning that this is not going to last that much longer. In the next half hour, things will begin to improve, but East Nashville, West Nashville, the Bordeaux area, we're thinking about Vandy kids just trying to get around this morning. All of us, rain gear, not umbrellas, but rain gear is what we need to have, because umbrellas, lightning, and wind, horrible combination. Raincoats, rain boots, and ponchos the best way to go. Here is that tornado watch. I am not concerned about spin-ups happening with this. We have had no severe weather overnight into this morning, but we had that out there as a precaution because well to our north and our east, there were some tornado warnings in the Midwest, and there was just enough energy in the atmosphere to warrant it. Taking a look, we'll keep tracking the storms. We will talk about severe potential, but really it would just be wind and hail we have to watch out for, but the lightning and the wind are just as big of an impact to our morning drive. It says 46. Look at the right side of your screen. We still have temperatures that are in the 60s to right near 70. Once the rain ends, you will drop 20 degrees in temperature within about a 45 to 50 minute time frame after those last drops fall. So keep that in mind. Colder later today.
Greg, thanks. We have a new crash just reported in steer clear traffic, so let's get right to the breaking news. This crash is on Briley Parkway, just north of the airport at the intersection of Donaldson Pike. This is headed in the northbound lanes. So if you were near the airport jumping on Briley Parkway to go north, it would take you up toward Opry Mills. You can see the crash is moved over to that right shoulder, but also blocking the right lane or two of traffic. So a big brake check here on Briley Parkway. And folks, I'm just going to tell you right now, there's not a single interstate in our morning commute that is not impacted due to crashes or otherwise major congestion. So coming up in our next steer clear traffic report in about 5 minutes, we are going to show you the worst spots, help you steer clear. By the way, the best detour for this crash on Briley Parkway at Donaldson Pike, best detour is going to be McGavick Pike. It runs parallel. It'll get you right around it.
We also want to make sure that you are up to speed with the search continuing for a missing autistic teenager, a 15-year-old out of Sumner County. Law enforcement and local residents, they want to bring Sebastian Rogers home, and we understand those rescue efforts are harder with the weather conditions.
They are, but listen, they are still out in it. We want to share with you brand new pictures coming in from Sumner County EMA. So many agencies across the state are looking for Sebastian Rogers. Rogers last seen near Stafford Court in Hendersonville wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses. Now, Stafford Court is a neighborhood right by Beach High School at the intersection of Long Hollow Pike and New Hope Road. People right now being asked to check their property, check home surveillance video, and anywhere this 15-year-old with autism might be hiding.
Sumner County EMA Director Ken Widener telling us that they're hoping for of course, for them to find the teenager, and they're doing whatever they can until they do track him down. Listen here.
We keep expecting someone to pull up with him, hoping that they see him and pull up. That hasn't happened, so we're just going to keep grinding it out and keep getting additional resources in here and keep the search ongoing.
So that's Ken Widener with Sumner County EMA, and our own Karen Aguilar had a chance to talk with Ken this morning. She said he was in tears when another mom who lives close by showed up and said, please tell me what I can do to help.
Now listen, maybe you watch your video and you have some information that you think can help with the rescue efforts. You were asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. If you want to take another look at the photo of the teenager who they are searching for, you can do that. Go to fox17.com.
A step forward when it comes to Rutherford County's controversial landfill.
Yeah, so the site is where trash from several counties end up, and we're getting some more updates for you about this headline story. Now work is underway on a more than 12,000 square foot transfer station. A transfer station is where waste goes to go ahead and be prepared to head to its final destination. A lot goes into this than you might imagine. Mayor Joe Carr and other county leaders spent 17 months coming up with this detailed plan for a landfill that is quickly going to be filling up.
7:36 is your time right now, and tense moments at the new home for Covenant School students after a staffer gets a bomb threat via email. We'll tell you what the FBI has now uncovered.
And Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Greg Bob is keeping a very close eye on the Doppler radar, showing you a live look right here on Lower Broadway, where the showers are coming down, how much longer we can expect the showers to stick around, and the cool down that's coming well into.
Call Bart Durham Injury Law at 615-242-9000 for a free case evaluation.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
rain and how it has progressed. It has moved quickly into the Nashville area, and now we're starting to see some areas where it's getting a little bit better. That is good news for us here. It is by no means a great scenario that we've worked into this morning. The best part has been, even though this is inconvenient and this could be stressful trying to get out the door, we have had no severe weather. We keep chipping away at our tornado watches throughout the morning. We have not had a single warning, whether it comes to severe thunderstorms or tornadoes. But we're taking a look here. I've got a line drawn right over I-40 to give you an idea. This is going to make its way all the way from just near Mount Juliet, this heavier band of rain, all the way about 10 minutes from now, tracking all the way past Forktown, continuing to the east, and that's where this is going to continue to be a headache for us here. But there are many spots, Hermitage, Donaldson, the airport itself being hit with very heavy rainfall and a lot of very gusty wind. That 1-2 combination we're all seeing here at some point this morning, and all of it is mainly within this main band. These smaller little isolated showers and thunderstorms are not giving us as much rain, but yes, I've got Donaldson circled right here because this is where some heavy rain that just let up. Watch for ponding in some of these areas. Maybe you're trying to get some friends from the airport. Maybe you're going to the airport later. This is one of those things you have to watch out for. This is Nashville proper. We're zooming back in. The same map I showed you about 5 minutes ago that was lit up in red is now greens and yellows. This is moving very quickly. I will tell you from the Nashville area right now, the rain will be done in about a half hour. Once the rain is done, you're getting cold, and you're getting cold real quick. I also anticipate them removing the rest of our tornado watches here as soon as the rain passes up that county line. I'm not so worried about anything spinning here for us this morning. Tracking the storms is what we're doing here. Weather, severe weather, it has been possible, but now we're getting into the latter stages. We talked early this morning, if you were waking up, of the timeline. We're 5 to 8, most of our rain tracking through here, and then we take that and we take it from 7 o'clock until 10. That's where we're at. If you're in the Cumberland Plateau, you are not in the clear. You still have the chance because you're getting some sunshine right now, bursting through the clouds. It's not necessarily a sunny start, but the sunshine influencing the atmosphere. You could get a stray storm with a little bit of wind and a little bit of hail. You can see that right here in Future Track, getting us through the 9 o'clock hour and then eventually 10 to 11. Afternoon, we're done, but we're cold. We're going to be in the 40s all afternoon, so very cold very quickly once the rain ends.
Greg, thank you. 7:42 is your time. We do want to check in for this crash update. It's brand new. TDOT not here at the scene. It's I-65 at Craighead in the Berry Hill area. 3 vehicles involved here. This is inbound to Nashville. About a 2-mile backup is what it's causing now. A good detour for this is Franklin Pike. Another incident that we want to track is right here on the map, Jen.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to give you the big picture view. We don't do this all the time because it's usually not warranted, but given the current situation with steer clear traffic, there is not a single road in or out of Nashville as far as the highways are concerned that's not impacted. Look at this. I'm just going to take a moment to review here. I-40 in both directions in and out of Nashville, high impact backups. We're talking Kingston Springs and we're talking Mount Juliet. If you're in Mount Juliet, take Central Pike. If you are in Kingston Springs, take Highway 70. Look up toward Clarksville on I-24. Huge backup there. You could take 41 or 31 to come in there. We've got backups on I-65 north of town as well. Man, I'll tell you what, stick it here because we are going to keep you updated and get you around those backups.
William Rose told police he did not drink, but officers arrested him after they say he failed the field sobriety tests. After months of waiting, his blood tests are back clean, but the damage is done. We're going to tell you this story after the break.
And just a quick reminder for you, we've got those
trucking company and the insurance company are not concerned with the victim. I was worried about being able to pay my bills. I enjoyed you representing me because I knew I had to have the best.
Welcome back, and now we're seeing new areas that have not had much rain work into some heavier rainfall pretty quickly. The main line finally starting to make its way out of downtown at least, but now we're talking everywhere south and east of the Nashville area seeing the biggest impact as far as what is coming down and the heavier rainfall. Lightning has also tailored itself back a little bit, but we still have a lot of wind. And I also want to talk about now temperature. We've got to focus on both of these at the same time because they're both important. Look at where the rain is at right now. Nashville, it's happening. You're starting to cool down. Now you've dropped 10 degrees in an hour. I literally wrote down, there's a piece of paper over there on the weather center that says 71 degrees, 6:45. Now areas that are south of Nashville, think I-65 on south. If you're trying to drive into town from Franklin, from Brentwood, you are socked into some rainfall here early on this morning. And I'll even tell you, I-24, not looking good too. Candace, producer in back, please, if you could pull up traffic camera right now. Look at this thing. I'm surprised it's not getting knocked off. This is going to be one of those things here this morning that's going to be very interesting. So we'll take a look at steer clear traffic.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it, Greg. We're going to pull up that camera that you were just mentioning through our traffic computer system. This is I-24 at Haywood Lane. My gracious. Greg was mentioning just a few minutes ago, this is the kind of heavy rain that's going to have people pulling off on the shoulder just to wait for it to pass. And that's what we are seeing. In fact, we can see somebody pulled over on the shoulder here. It is pouring buckets along I-24, and the traffic reflects that. It is an absolute parking lot from Smyrna all the way into Nashville. If I were you, I would hold off a few extra minutes. Like, if you can stay home for about the next 15 or 20 minutes and let this thing pass, it should ease up. Otherwise, it's a parking lot on I-24 and it's a parking lot on Murfreesboro Pike, which would be a good detour. Here's another live look. Erica, let's check I-65 near Concord.
Yeah, so this issue right here, doing a definite brake check, a lot of congestion. And, you know, for this particular spot, we're not seeing any crashes, no disabled vehicles, just a lot of folks who are saying we got to hit the brakes dealing with all the weather impacts. We'll continue checking in on all your steer clear traffic updates and keep a very close eye on the map right throughout 9 a.m. Stay safe out there. Well, Fox 17 News investigating. Murfreesboro police arresting a man for DUI who did not have alcohol or drugs in his system.
Yeah, but the DUI arrest turned the life of this minister upside down. Fox 17 News reporter Kelly Avellino shows us how this could happen to any of us and why.
The next 18 minutes would drastically alter William Rose's life.
It basically destroyed our family, our emotional state. Had it not been for the grace of God, I don't know where we would be. This particular
Rose knows a lot about the glory of God, having done ministry work in Mexico for years.
There was a very large campaign. We had over 250 children.
Rose also teaches affordable English classes to local immigrants and drives for Uber. But that all stopped October 26, 2022.
I didn't see anybody coming.
Rose admits that he's likely at fault for a minor accident between his car and a car driven by a man we confirmed to be a former Murfreesboro police officer. Rose says they waited 2 hours for Murfreesboro police to show up and take a report. When one officer approached his car, Rose said he just used hand sanitizer.
She said, well, it smells very strong of alcohol. And I said, well, it's the sanitizer here. You're welcome to it.
Rose says he told officers that he doesn't drink, but they asked him to step out of the car. You can see in this dash cam video, Rose walking in his normal stride multiple times around the vehicle. The officer writing that he noticed at one point Rose swaying for balance.
I've had problems with my balance and various issues and with my eyes since I was born.
Rose says he told the officers of his eye and balance problems, but never had a thorough diagnosis. The officer asking him to consent to a field sobriety test.
I would, but I'd rather do a breathalyzer.
Rose believing the breathalyzer test would immediately clear him, but the Murfreesboro Police Department doesn't use breathalyzers, only blood draws for DUI incidents, and that's not uncommon. Fox 17 News confirming at least half of the other local law enforcement agencies we contacted only use blood draws.
What was going through your head when you did the field sobriety test?
Well, I was very nervous. I was very scared because obviously I couldn't maintain my balance.
But attempting to walk a toe-to-toe straight line, holding his leg up and not jerking his eyes, all proving to be difficult. Officers cuffing Rose and charging him with driving under the influence.
When I ran you through the field sobriety test, you failed all 3 of them.
Rose says the officers didn't consider that there wasn't any alcohol on his breath, that his eyes weren't bloodshot, and that he held a coherent conversation with the officer the entire way to the jail.
So how will this affect my record?
Well, that's what I was going to say, yeah. So the blood draw is what's really important.
These are Rose's blood test results. You could see here he tested negative for any trace of alcohol or drugs in his system. And I could tell you about 8 months after these results came in, a judge finally had mercy on him.
They dismissed all the charges.
The court also expunged his record, but Rose says he's still enduring the repercussions more than a year later.
It just seems like the nightmare that will never end.
Rose is still unable to drive since he was dropped from his insurance company. Other auto insurers quoted him astronomical rates despite his expunged DUI charge. I reached out to consumer protection attorney Mark Mailman, who says background check companies often don't use updated records.
Many times these companies rely
rely on third-party vendors that house information and it's old, or they themselves may house or collect information and it's just old, stale data that's not being updated regularly.
Rose tells me he's still hoping to take legal action, but in Tennessee, officers have qualified immunity, which protects them from individual liability. As far as a false arrest conviction, Rose would likely have to prove that the officers had no probable cause to charge him, potentially difficult given the field test that followed an accident. Murfreesboro police sent us this statement reading, "This is a perfect example of how the system should work. Blood was examined by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, which determined that Mr. Rose was not impaired. The charges were dismissed and his record expunged." But the reality of the impact is far from that simple.
It's been an ongoing struggle. There's times when I'm alone, I'll cry. You know, I'm still not over this.
After the arrest, doctors diagnosed Rose with both ataxia, which is a balance disorder, and documented that his eyes do have difficulty in tracking smoothly. Currently, he has found an overnight job that he can walk to, but that also means he's unable to teach the low-cost English classes during the day. And I can tell you, Rose is also reaching out to background check company after background check company to make sure his DUI charge does not show up. I'm Kelly Avellino for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Kelly, thank you for that investigative report. Developing now, I want to let you know that the FBI is looking into a bomb threat they say was emailed Monday to an employee of the Covenant School.
You could understand how scared folks would be considering the Covenant School shooting almost a year ago. Metro Police say this threat was made to the school's temporary location, which is in a church in Brentwood. Police tell us that they cleared the scene with help from a bomb dog. This was all out of an abundance of caution, and right now they're working with the FBI to pinpoint the origin of the threat. Again, it came in an email, and as I mentioned, it comes nearly a year after the mass shooting at the Covenant School killed 3 staffers and 3 students.
At 7:54, Fox 17 News, we are continuing our Code Red weather alert. We want to bring to your attention 2 different traffic incidents that we are monitoring. One involving a car that has crashed into the median. And
full line of F-150s plus 1.9% financing for 72 months available. Some scratched, some didn't, some not, but all with big savings. Town and Country Ford in Madison.
57, keeping our eyes on the radar for you. This is the big story of the morning. It is the weather, and this is going to continue to impact us. I will tell you a couple of the good things here, though, after we get through who has to still contend with this. So, waking up this morning, this line of showers and storms started in the Hopkinsville area around 4 o'clock in the morning and then went through Clarksville. We had all our cameras in Dickson showing all the lightning, the thunder. Oh, you could hear it. You could watch the cameras rumble around. Everyone who has passed this line is in the all clear for any potential thunderstorms. But if you haven't stepped outside yet today and you thought it was going to be warm, not the case. We're already in the 40s in areas that had the rain end a few hours ago. Now, let's dive back into where it is at and where it is exiting very quickly for us here in terms of impact. Light rain already coming down in some of the areas here, but just crossing I-24 here leading toward the Smyrna area is another batch of heavier rainfall. Think if you're trying to hop on from the Laverne area, not going to look very pretty here for us here for the next little go while. Down toward Murfreesboro, we haven't mentioned you much at all really this morning when it comes to weather because you've had nothing going on. Light rainfall starting now. Everyone else you've been watching go into all of the wind, the rain, the low visibility, and the lightning that is moving in your direction in the next 20 minutes. So think about if you're hopping on 24, you're driving toward this. If you're waiting 20 minutes, it's going to be in your backyard, and you'll still be driving into this. So that'll be one of the next places that we have to watch very carefully. Lightning counts have gone down. Why did I circle Nashville and a lot of the areas that bring you into town? Because 24 is going to start looking better coming into town from the northwest. 65 coming from the north will start looking better, and so will 40 from the west because these areas are finally done with rain, but there will still be ponding, and you're going to feel that wind still jostling you around driving. So please, just be careful, but know that if you're done with the rain, you're in pretty good shape. We'll take a look at the radar once again for you in about, 2 minutes as we go into our 8 o'clock half hour.
Greg, thanks so much. Man, been working hard all morning long, and we're going to get through it together. We've got one more hour to go where we keep you posted on stuff like this. Breaking news in Steer Clear traffic. We've got to crash a car into the concrete wall. This is right along I-440 This is at 21st Avenue, I-440 at 21st. It does look like this is in the eastbound lanes. So want to just alert you to this. If you are using I-440 this morning and maybe you're coming from I-40 and then heading south on 440 to come around that southern loop of Nashville, you're going to run into this. Big brake check. Looks like everybody's okay. We've seen the people in this car milling around. TDOT is here, so that's the good news. Right lane and right shoulder both blocked. Not a great detour here. If you had to, you could take Woodmont Boulevard or Woodlawn Drive to kind of work around this, but I really don't think it's worth a big detour. We're going to monitor more issues and steer clear traffic that are popping up as we speak, as we get into our 8 o'clock hour, which starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
We are still in a code red weather alert for the impact that we're seeing in traffic just due to a heavy line of thunderstorms that has been tracking through. If you have not seen the rain yet or heard it overnight, you're still in store. We're all going to work through it by the end of the morning. Where it's at now and goes next, coming up in your forecast.
And that heavy line of thunderstorms certainly impacting traffic. Look at this, a car hitting the median right there. TDOT on the scene, so we're going to give you a full steer clear traffic updates ahead.
The search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers continues here in Hendersonville and throughout Sumner County. Coming up, I'll have the details and community reaction on his disappearance.
You can see Karen out there. That wind is picking up. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News on a busy Wednesday morning. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Those search crews are working out in the elements this morning, Greg. This is a story that has really gripped so much of the mid-state. So we'll check in with Karen in just a few minutes on those search efforts. But right now, how is this this big line? I mean, we've been impressed all morning, Greg. I'm going to kind of step out of the way. This line of storms stretching the entire viewing area all morning.
We don't see it that often in the morning, but you know, usually afternoon thunderstorms that move in with a cold front or something, you get that big old line that goes through. Usually we're more pop-up variety.
Yeah.
Not today. We're all getting the rain today. If you haven't seen it yet, you are still up to bat. I will tell you though, areas like the Hendersonville area, you're going to be much better here in the coming hours. And what I'm showing you right here, there we go. As suspected, 8 o'clock, they have dropped all tornado watches for the entire viewing area. So severe weather threat is as close to zero as you can get right now. And if we had any severe weather, it would just be a gust of wind that gets up to the point where they get that threshold of above 70 miles per hour or some real big hail. And we've not been seeing a lot of hail with this. The wind is still there. That's not going anywhere. And a few lightning strikes still there as well. That's not going anywhere either. But taking a look at tracking, I mentioned moving into Smyrna a few moments ago. Here you go. You're going to be into this for about another 15, 20 minutes. Laverne, it'll start getting better. On the back side of this is some really cold air, but at least if you can make it through the rain and tolerate, then you'll be okay later. Just plan for some winter type clothing. If you go outside in a shorts and a t-shirt situation later, don't come blaming me. I'm giving you the heads up right now. It's going to be 40s all day long. Murfreesboro, you have your light rainfall, I promised you, and this will continue to track the main band of it, of the yellows, oranges, and reds towards you guys. So that means a good chunk of I-24 from Smyrna all the way down to Murfreesboro, going to be a little bit of a pain in about 20 minutes. Keep that in mind if you haven't left the house yet, and that's part of your drive. The one area that is drying out, still some light to moderate sprinkles that are out there, but compared to what you just went through, Nashville is going to be in the all clear for any additional thunderstorm activity. If you are shaded in white right now, Hendersonville, you get toward Old Hickory, Berry Hill, Oak Hill, Brentwood, areas where we've seen multiple thunderstorms. If you're in the white, you are done with thunderstorms. You just might catch a sprinkle or two in the forecast. That's really good news for us here this morning. The heavier rain now pivoting down to the south and the east. And we'll see when it finally ends. It will track through and give you a little bit of light rainfall on the backside of it. So keep that in mind. You're going to get a little bit of that green influence here. And even Hopkinsville and Clarksville, if you get a couple pitter-patters of some rainfall, don't let that worry you. That's not going to be anything that develops into more than just a little pitter-patter of rain. You started off at 70 degrees. We all did about 4 hours ago. Now 46 will be your afternoon temperature, a windy 46. I had to pull out the wind chill map for this afternoon, and it was 71 degrees an hour ago. I'm going to show you that in a couple of minutes.
Oh my goodness, that's a Tennessee swing. Okay, 8:04 is the time. Do want to bring you back up to speed of the clearing situation. This is I-440 21st Avenue. Now there was moments ago a car that was slowly being towed away. You can see it's not there anymore. That car though, it had hit the median. But TDOT got out there, the crews were out there clearing this area. So right now, not any issues. Again, this was I-440 21st Avenue. We are giving you the all clear.
We're just going to keep grinding it out, and and keep getting additional resources in here and keep the search ongoing.
Right now to a breaking news update out of Sumner County. First responders say they are not going to let this weather, everything going on this morning, slow down their search for this missing autistic teenager, just 15 years old. Right now, Fox 17 News reporter Kieran Aguilar joining us live where searchers are still working around the clock. What are you seeing right now? I know you've been there since 4 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, that's right, Erica. I have been here since about 4 this morning, and I want you to walk with me and take a look at how many cars are in this parking lot at Shackle Island Fire Hall to give you an idea of how important this search is to find 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, who is autistic and without his medication. It's been 3 days already, and he desperately needs that medication. Now, search crews have been out here for a couple hours, ready to begin to hit the road on foot, in car, and also through horse. They have horses here. They also have canines to assist with this search. Now, the Hendersonville community has been touched by this young teen. We've read on X that the boy loved to fish and he loved to do a ton of other things. He loved to hide in small spaces. The Hendersonville community reacting to the fact that he's gone and sending prayers to his family. One woman on X, she wrote that her boy is autistic himself, and with this weather being out in these elements, it could be horrible. We also spoke to Braden McMurray, who says he went to a prayer vigil last night in his neighborhood for Rogers.
It's really sad. I just hope they find him. I really have no clue where he could be. I know they're expanding the search area.
At this time, we don't have any new information on where Rogers could be, but I did reach out to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office to get some answers on any leads or people that might have seen him last. We also asked if we could be connected to his family, because I'm sure his family is grieving, and it is important to provide perspective on how important it is to find Rogers. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you very much. 8:07 is the time. We have a Nashville rideshare driver who says he shot and killed a passenger in self-defense. We'll tell you what he says led up to that altercation and what the police investigation has uncovered so far.
And Fox 17 News continuing our Code Red weather alert, letting you know the timeline, including this. Okay, grab your winter coat, because Greg was talking about temperatures dipping into the 40s and 30s.
I'm thinking about those baseball games I have to go watch this afternoon.
Mama. Or get 4.49% APR for 60 months or 1,000 bonus cash. Hurry, offers end 2/29.
Fox 17 celebrates Black History Month.
.09, still working through some showers that are moving through the area with some rumbles of some thunder included, and that wind is bringing in cold air as we speak. Here is how we are looking this morning. You don't typically see a morning where we have 40s, 50s, and 60s at the same time for temperatures when we all started at 71 degrees at 4 a.m. Every number around here was right around 70 about 4 hours ago. So in 4 hours, honestly, this happened, believe it or not. Hopkinsville went from 71 degrees to the 40s in about 45 minutes. That's how quickly temperature dropped, because it was still dark outside and that cold front moved in really quickly. Now, Nashville in an hour and a half has dropped almost 20 degrees. We went from 71 to 53. We are all going to end up in this territory later on this afternoon. We're all going to be in the 40s. Once the rain passes you up, you keep the wind as well. So future temperature taking us into the afternoon, 4 p.m. Even some areas in the upper elevations will be in the 30s, and we still have the wind. Big change from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. here across all of Middle Tennessee. Taking a look, tomorrow morning, we will have gone from 71 this morning to 29 degrees. Winter coats, you may want to bust out the hat and gloves, because we're just not used to this kind of cold over the last 2 weeks after so many mornings that have been so warm for us. Taking a look at feels like temperatures. I had to bring out the wind chill map for tomorrow. We're going to have wind chills that will be in the low 20s to wake up to tomorrow. But look at the afternoon. Today we're going to feel like we're in the 30s all afternoon. 3 p.m. we're going to feel like we're below 40 degrees for many of us. So keep that in mind. The wind will still be an influence tomorrow morning. Yeah, still an influence as well. I mentioned that low temperature of right around 28, 29. We'll have wind chills as cold as 25 in Lebanon, lower 20s, Lawrenceburg through Lewisburg and Tullahoma. So the cold becomes the big story. The second you're done with the thunderstorms that are out there, the cold immediately takes over the forecast and it hops into the driver's seat. Now, what is still out there is still being an impact for us when it comes to the radar. Back to the entire viewing area, you can see a line of showers and storms, and one of our main arteries, I-24, trying to go north from Murfreesboro. You're going to have a decent time to go through here when it comes to that rain moving through. This could be a bit of a headache. It's going to be there in about 10 to 15 minutes, and that's going to slow you down just a touch when it comes to visibility, wind, and heavier rainfall.
Greg, thank you so much. We want to get you updated in steer clear traffic. It has been a bit of a morning when it comes to traffic, and we can see this live look from I-24 at Almaville Road shows us that we still got rain coming down along the I-24 corridor. So for those of you who are waking up this morning with us and you were watching or listening down toward Murfreesboro, Smyrna, Laverne, just know that I-24 is a bit of a mess. It is congested all the way to, between Smyrna and Murfreesboro. And we do have, in fact, let me just see, this might be a new, hold on one second, we might have a new crash. I'm gonna, while we're looking at this Almaville Road shot, I'm gonna check here. Okay, yeah. All right, I'm gonna, oh, we've got a complete interstate shutdown. Mel, our executive producer, Mel, can you find the camera at I-24 east of Harding? Real quick, and producer Candace, if I've got just a moment, I'm going to take it because we need to alert people to this crash. So we're going to try to switch from I-24 at Almaville, which is clear, to I-24 at Harding, which is closer to Nashville, where we do have a full-on interstate shutdown due to a crash. I can see a car right in the middle of the interstate, and here we have it. All right, you can see rain covering the camera lens here. Again, this is I-24 at Harding. This looks to be in the, hold on one second, this is going to be in the westbound lanes. That means it's going out of Nashville and going toward Antioch. So if you are waking up this morning in anywhere besides Antioch and you are trying to get there, thank you TDOT for zooming in here, I'm going to recommend a detour for you right now. Best detour is going to be, and here's another view, oh my goodness. All right, we may have 4 to 5 chain reaction cars involved in a crash here, so this is significant. Here's what we've got. Best detour if you're leaving Nashville trying to get to Antioch this morning. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Breaking news in steer clear traffic. We have 2 serious crashes to get to. We're going to begin with a live look I-24 at Arlington. This is right by Elm Hill Pike.
Yeah, so this area, Jen, you were talking about earlier, it can be impacted because of the standing water. We know that's a big issue right now. So we're counting 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 vehicles involved all in all. Just outbound from Nashville, big issue at hand. And the problem is that you're seeing here, look at this big semi truck trying to weave through all the traffic there.
Yeah, I mean, we've got cars basically spread out all over the interstate in different lanes, crashed out. I can see debris in several lanes of traffic. This is an absolute mess. Erica just mentioned it. Want to reiterate, this is outbound from Nashville on I-24. So if you were leaving anywhere in the downtown Nashville loop and trying to get out toward the airport, maybe you're trying to get down toward Antioch, you are going to run smack dab into this if you don't take the detour. Best detour is going to be to take Lebanon Pike. So get off of the I-40 loop before you get to Elm Hill is basically what you want to do. Heck, you could even take I-65 southbound to go the long way around, which I would recommend because the backup here is going to be so severe. And here's the issue. We got a 1-2 whammy because if you make it past this crash at I-24 between Elm Hill and Arlington, you're going to run into this crash. This is the one on I-24 also outbound from Nashville that just moments ago had all of I-24 at Harding at a complete stop. Now the good news is TDOT has managed to get cars that were crashed in the middle of the interstate off to the far right, but it is still causing a huge backup. Again, best detours here to avoid this entire corridor would either be I-65 south, you could take Nolensville Pike, You could take Murfreesboro Pike or you could take Elm Hill Pike. Stay on the pikes. Stay off of this I-24, I-40 interchange.
All right, so Jen is giving you those detours, but the big question is, Greg, how much longer are the showers going to continue in these spots that are causing us such big issues?
Well, and this is what we're seeing is the residual of what just happened. So rain done in the area, but it came down so heavily. We're getting reports here that are coming in of 1 to 1.5 inches of rain in just that half hour when these showers and thunderstorms came over. So areas that are typically accustomed to having ponding and flooding are going to have that standing water. So if you're used to driving here and you know where those spots are, you'll already know and think to avoid them. But if you're a brand new driver here and you don't know what I'm talking about, that's what's happening. There is no rain in the Antioch area right now, but so much came down over a good 45-minute period that now we have the ponding. Taking a look at another place we have to watch really carefully. Just started talking about you about a half hour ago, Murfreesboro, but the rain is starting to pick up here. Not much lightning with this system anymore. It's still technically a thunderstorm system. We do get strikes here and there, but the lightning not as big of a deal. Now we're talking about just these bands of heavy rainfall and also talking about the wind. The wind has not gone anywhere. Also, we're talking about places again that we haven't spoken to this morning. You're still in the 60s in Cookeville, but you're going to have the rain move in, and that rain is going to quickly exit Carthage, move toward the Cookeville area in about 15 minutes, and after it moves out, your temperature will drop just like everyone else we were talking about. This is the one new thing here that is good for us this morning. We have taken away any threat for tornadoes. Our tornado watch across the board is gone. We never had a warning. We never had a severe thunderstorm warning. We just had this come in at the wrong time when it comes to trying to drive and a lot of standing water. Temperatures, whew, if you throw a dart at the map, you don't know what you're going to get till it lands. 50 right now in Nashville, 43 in Hopkinsville, 68 in Columbia, and still 68 in McMinnville. So all of the areas that are in the yellow shading, we have not seen the rain come through just yet. Everyone in the greens, it just wrapped up shop. In the places that are in the 40s, you've been done for about 2-3 hours. In about 2-3 hours, we're all going to be in the 40s going into the afternoon. Very cold times are ahead of us. And this is going to continue, not just for this afternoon, but overnight tonight. Here's 45 degrees for the afternoon, and it's still going to be windy. Wind chill values will be in the upper 30s this afternoon. Very cold, very quickly. And it lasts into tomorrow morning. Right there are the morning lows that will be in the upper 20s. With wind chills, it'll feel like we're in the low 20s. 50 degrees for the afternoon on your Thursday. We start getting a little bit better night by night, back into the 40s. Daytimes get a little better as well. Once we can get through this storm system this morning and then get through the cold on the end of that, the weekend looks really good. So quite literally, today's that day we start working for the weekend. 71 on Saturday, 74 on Sunday, and a lot more carefree.
Greg, thank you so much. 8:21 is the time, and right now we do have some more updates regarding the trial for the man accused of hitting a mid-state volleyball player in Missouri. Well, the trial is set to begin next week.
All right, so Daniel Riley is the man who is accused of hitting Janae Edmondson while she was at a volleyball tournament in St. Louis last year. This is Janae. She is a senior at Smyrna High School at the time and lost both of her legs because of this man's actions. Police say Daniel Riley didn't have a valid license, but that was just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the problems here.
Yeah, truly. So he does face charges for that, as well as 3 counts of assault and armed criminal action. His trial is set to begin on Monday.
8:22 right now, and a longtime mid-state minister has his life turned upside down after he's arrested on suspicion for DUI. But after months of investigation, shocking test results have local law enforcement officers taking another look at their protocol. Kelly Avellino digs into this story coming up at 8:45.
Plus, the Preds roadmap
of our team members to date, and I guarantee to beat any written estimate.
So come to B&B for all your flooring needs.
We got you covered!
Welcome back. 8:25 is the time. Do want to check in for this crash that is really impacting so many parts of our highways out there. This is going to be a live look at 224.
At 24.
Sorry, I was getting a closer look here. This is a live look at I-24 over at Harding Place, where you can see multiple cars pulled over on the shoulder here. We have 3 police cars that are trying to deal with this situation. Multiple rescue crews as well. It does have a big shoulder over here on the right side blocked off. We do want to also take another look over here at I-40. This is going to be at Arlington Ave. Now, TDOT is on the scene. That's good news. They blocked off the traffic. This is around the shoulder where there is a large area typically where when it's raining out there, the water can really just be a standing water, which does lead to some issues. So I do want to let you know the 3 vehicles were involved in this particular incident, possibly a 4th, but it does look to be getting cleared. That's what we see right now. It's outbound from Nashville. The best detour is going to be Lebanon Pike. We're going to continue checking in on all of your steer clear traffic updates, though, in a couple of minutes.
And we're still in a code red weather alert here for everything that you're seeing. It's the impact of all of the rain that we have already had. Many of these places are not seeing rain right now, and many of them will not see any additional rainfall, but we had roughly an inch of rain in about a half hour come down. And if there are any low-lying areas that you know are prone to flooding, that means hydroplaning. It means potholes filling up. It means low visibility in some spots. And now we're working out of the rain in many areas where we're starting to see traffic pick up and starting to see these accidents flare up because of that ponding and standing water. So just because it's not raining where you're at does not mean that the after effects are not being seen. Trying to get moving. Murfreesboro, you're right in the middle of it. I've been tracking for you here for about a half hour, and I told you by about 8:30 you'd be seeing the rain. Here it is. So what I'm going to do is do a reverse track, we call this, where I'm not starting at the beginning and seeing where it's going. I'm looking at the end of this, and when we're done with all of this at this portion of I-24. So in about 10 to 15 minutes, this decent body of some rain here, the oranges and the yellows, are going to move away from I-24, and we'll go to lighter rainfall and easier visibility. So keep that in mind. Getting out toward our eastern counties here, where we haven't spent a whole lot of time. Lighter rainfall moving in. Lancaster going to pick up the rain pretty quickly here, and then Cookeville will zoom in on you guys a little more toward the east coming up in just a few minutes.
Greg, thank you. Talking about sports now, the Predators continuing their winning streak with a victory over the Ottawa Senators last night. Showing you some of the highlights. The Preds started the game out with 2 goals from Roman Josi and Michael McCarron. The Senators, though, notching their 1 goal at the end of the first period. And near the end of the second period, Josi once again scoring, making it 3-1 Preds. Gustav Nyquist scoring 1 off the deflection in the last period. Ultimately, though, the Preds win 4-1. We're going to take another live look, letting you know that, yes, we are continuing our code red weather alert, and that severe weather certainly impacting power outages. We're taking a live look at the NES.
Can't be ruled out. Fox 17 News alerts, empowers, protects. This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Eurostone. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
If you're just joining us here, we are in a Code Red weather alert. We have been all night into this morning. I've got some good news for folks who've already seen rain, but I'm still tracking a main band of thunderstorms coming up in just a moment.
Greg, thank you. And breaking ground on a Middle Tennessee business that most people will never visit. Why it's going to have a huge impact on our lives.
And we continue to follow breaking news updates and steer clear traffic. A couple of crashes where you will want to steer clear. We'll get you those detours in moments.
Ooh, it's nasty in some spots out there. Thank you so much for waking up with us, though, on a busy Wednesday morning on Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Thanks for joining us here as your live local news source through 9 a.m. We're glad to be here for you when it matters, right? We got big weather systems and high impact traffic events. We're going to get you covered for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and check in on our steer clear weather updates. See, tricked you there. Yep.
Also, taking a look at power outages. So taking a look here, this is going to be one of those times where we look at how many outages we get versus everything. And right now we've got over 1,000 outages for us to kick off this morning. So just keep that in mind, or at least at one point we did. Now we're down to, I believe, around 750-ish in that ballpark, I believe.
Yeah, the good news is NES crews have been out there and dispatched to almost all of the reported outages. And you can see on the left side of your screen that list of outages currently reported. So good news is they're out there, they're working on it. So be patient. They're out there in the elements trying to get you back online.
All right, let's try this one more time. Okay, now we're going to tell you more about the steer clear weather updates and how your traffic is being impacted by the weather. So Greg, can you tell us how much longer these showers are going to stick around with us?
It depends where you're at, actually. Most of us here, it's kind of funny that you say steer clear because there are many spots now where we actually can steer more clear than we were before. Look at the Nashville area. Everyone who's in the white area on the top left-hand side away from this line of showers and storms doesn't have to worry about anything else. Maybe just a little light sprinkle this morning, and we have temperatures that are in the 40s in some of those areas now. We're dropping the temperature real quick, but this main line still continues to give us some problems down near Murfreesboro and then out toward the Cumberland Plateau. I want to show you the last 6 hours because we're going to show you steer clear traffic momentarily. And in many of the areas that we show you, we're not seeing rain coming down right now. So you might think, okay, well, why weren't things worse when there was rain coming down? That is because over the last 6 hours, we have put down nearly 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain in many spots. Near Hopkinsville, you can see right there, Clarksville. This is just the last 6 hours. Nashville, Murfreesboro now. This is how quickly it has moved, and if we're putting down 1 inch of rainfall and it's only over you for about a half hour to 45 minutes, all the low-lying areas that are typically areas that have ponding, all the big crater potholes that we have become pools, so you can't see those either. So this adds up to, even though the rain has moved out, all that water has to find somewhere to go. And if you're not used to driving on some of the highways, well, then that might kind of catch you off guard. What I will tell you is, as this catches us back up to real time, gets us closer to Cookeville, moving quick. Going to be there in about 10, 15 minutes, and same with Monterey in about a half hour. Now, feels like temperatures. I had to pull out the wind chill map, and it was 71 degrees 4 hours ago. Taking a look, by 10 o'clock this morning, 10 o'clock this morning, we're going to feel like 30 degrees outside because the wind is still there. We're going to go from 71 degrees at 6:45 in the morning, that was the temperature, to feeling like we're at 30 by the time we get to 10 a.m. So have the winter clothes ready. It's going to be damp outside. It's going to be windy. It will be a little bit uncomfortable, so layer up. We'll only feel like we're at 43 right in the middle of the afternoon.
That is chilly.
Let's see how we're looking out there.
Now we're doing a Steer Clear traffic update. 8:34 is the time. Do want to take you to this live look of I-24 at Harding Place. This crash is going to be outbound from Nashville. Okay, so the good news is it's right there on the right shoulder. Crews are there responding to this scene, trying to clear out the area, but you can see take a detour. It's going to be Murfreesboro Pike, but again, this is a live look at I-24 over at Harding Place.
And more breaking news updates this morning as the search continues through all of this awful weather this morning for that autistic teenager, 15 years old, missing from Sumner County. We have local law enforcement, state law enforcement. We have local neighbors who just want to bring Sebastian Rogers home.
Everyone coming together right now, though. Fox 17 News reporter Kieran Aguilar joining us live with another update regarding the ongoing search efforts.
Good morning. Well, search crews have been out here for a couple hours, ready to hit the road on foot, horse, or in their car on their quest to find 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, who, as you mentioned, is autistic. We also know that he's been without his medication for more than 36 hours now. So I want you to take a look at this parking lot, the amount of cars that are here at the Shackle Island Fire Hall, to give people are rallying to find Rogers. You can even see that those men there were just coming out of their cars. They're preparing, as I mentioned, to hit the road. It's been a preparation of all day, whether it's setting up maps, getting the canines ready, just gathering information to be able to find Rogers and hopefully bring his family some peace. TBI says the teen is 5'5", about 120 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen near Stafford Court in Hendersonville wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses on Monday. Multiple agencies across the state, along with the community, are trying to find Rogers. Braden McMurray tells me he went to a prayer vigil last night in his neighborhood for him. Take a listen.
Hope they find them, and I know everybody's been praying for them, and I've seen a couple of prayer groups that's been praying for them, so I just hope they find them.
Prayers, that's something that we've heard throughout the day, not just from law enforcement, EMA, but also on X, where they've been hoping and praying that Rogers can be found. I reached out to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office to see if they have any new leads. I haven't heard back yet, but officials want you to contact 1-800-TBI-FIND or 1-615-451-3838 if you have any information on where Rogers might be. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Tense moments at the new home for Covenant school students after a staffer gets a bomb threat. We'll tell you what the FBI has now uncovered.
And our Code Red weather alert is continuing on. We are tracking the line where it's heading. Right now, we're showing you a live look over on Lower Broadway where things are easing up. The clouds are seeming to clear out, but those chilly temperatures, they are making their way in.
Scratched, some didn't, some not, but all with big savings. Town and Country Ford in Madison.
The Good Feet Store, improving people's lives 2 feet at a time.
840, and keep an eye on that line of thunderstorms that track through the area for you. And we're going to continue to watch them moving into the plateau on our far easternmost counties, and then just getting out of Murfreesboro as we speak. Still a couple of showers out there, but nothing too aggressive. The lightning has gone down significantly since 4 o'clock this morning. We were seeing hundreds of lightning strikes every 15 minutes. Now we're down to about 50 every 15 minutes across the entire Fox 17 viewing area. So good news there. Nashville, a couple little sprinkles. You'll see a few more of those trickle in. No additional thunderstorms. This is actually ahead of the cold front, bringing in the colder air. So this is ahead of the front, and then this is right near it, and that's why we have such, well, I would call them, compared to 3 hours ago, downright cold temperatures that we'll look at. Let's zoom in, though, and figure out a few of our hometowns that are up next to bat here. Shelbyville, in about 10-12 minutes, you're going to go from light rainfall to that more moderate, heavier rain for about a half hour. Belt buckle, same idea. You get a bell buckle, I should say, and then going up toward the north and the east. Cookeville, out through Burgess, if you get down toward Buckner, we're going to have a lot of heavy rain moving in toward the plateau, and then you're going to cool down after it. Keep an eye on this number right here. The time is closing in on 8:45. We're just 3 minutes away, 49 degrees. I'm going to show you something here that puts today in perspective. At 6:45, it was 71 degrees. We're here at 8:45, 49. Actual air temperature. Wind chills are closer to 40 degrees, and they'll be as cold as 30 by 10 a.m. So the cold takes over once the rain ends in your neighborhood.
Greg, thank you. 8:42 is the time. I do want to give you a crash update. This is I-40, I-24 split right near Arlington Ave. Now, this was earlier where the crash was right under the underpass for Arlington. So the crash is cleared. You can see that. You can see the crews out there, lots of flashing lights. They have now moved those 3 vehicles involved to the zebra stripes. Okay, this is right where the interstate splits. But just want to give you an update there, another steer clear traffic update that particular crash near Arlington Ave, that is cleared. But do be mindful again of the vehicles that are right there again in the zebra stripes.
Developing story right now. The FBI is currently looking into a bomb threat they say got emailed Monday to an employee of the Covenant School. Now, that threat came in to that employee who is working at the school's temporary site, which is a church in Brentwood. They say they did clear the scene with help from a bomb dog.
They are now working with the FBI to pinpoint the origin of that threat. This does come nearly 1 year after a mass shooting at the Covenant School killed 3 adults and 3 children.
A longtime mid-state minister's life is torn upside down after he's arrested on suspicion of DUI. But after months of investigation, Fox 17 News is...
Of F-150s plus 1.9% financing for 72 months available. Some scratched, some didn't, some not, but all with big savings. Town & Country Ford in Madison.
Good morning, welcome back. Time right now is 8:45, and I have changed the radar a little bit here. No, not everyone's getting rain right now, so don't worry about that. What I've done is put the rainfall for just the last 6 hours, radar estimated rainfall, and a lot of the areas where we're seeing some of our crashes this morning, 40, I-24. These are some of the areas where we're having some of the most hefty, I would say, rainfall totals. And you got to think about this and look at it like this. Some of these rainfall totals came down in the course of a half of an hour. That's a lot of rain very, very quickly. We're talking more than an inch of rain in some spots here. And this is going 40 from the west into downtown and then out of it going toward, like, say, Lebanon and whatnot, Hermitage. This is a lot of rain to come down very quickly for a system that had a lot of wind with it as well. It has led to some ponding. We have no flood alerts that are out there right now for us, so that's good news. But we're still working through some heavier bands of rain moving toward the Cumberland Plateau. If you're in Monterey, if you're in Crossville, if you are in Sparta, McMinnville, next 20 minutes, half hour, say goodbye to your 60s. Walk outside right now, get a deep breath of fresh air, get back inside, let the storms pass, and then go get the winter coat. We're going to be cold later on today across the board. Some of us are already there. If you're waking up with us in Hopkinsville and Clarksville, you're in the 40s right now. If you're waking up right now in Nashville, you just dipped below 50 degrees. Temperatures only in the low to mid 40s later on this afternoon.
Greg, thank you. Steer clear traffic right now at 8:47. Want to get you updated on the crash that's been impacting traffic leaving Nashville and going down toward Antioch. This is the crash involving several cars at Harding. They've got the far right shoulder and 2 right lanes still blocked off as they try to get this thing cleared, but at one point it was taking up the entire interstate. So if you needed a detour leaving Nashville trying to get down to Antioch this morning, you could take Murfreesboro Pike. You could take Nolensville Pike to get down there. Also, just a heads up if you're coming in this morning from Dickson, we've got somebody that's broke down on I-40 near Kingston Springs coming into Nashville. Not a big problem, just a brake check as you come through Kingston Springs.
At 8:48, Fox 17 News investigating Murfreesboro police arresting a man for DUI who did not have alcohol or drugs in his system.
You're right, but the DUI arrest turned the life of this minister upside down. Fox 17 News reporter Kelly Avellino shows us how this could have happened to anybody.
The next 18 minutes would drastically alter William Rose's life.
It basically destroyed our family, our emotional state. Had it not been for the grace of God, I don't know where we would be. This particular
Rose knows a lot about the glory of God, having done ministry work in Mexico for years.
There was a very large campaign. We had over 250 children.
Rose also teaches affordable English classes to local immigrants and drives for Uber. But that all stopped October 26, 2022.
I didn't see anybody coming.
Rose admits that he's likely at fault for a minor accident between his car and a car driven by a man we confirmed to be a former Murfreesboro police officer. Rose says they waited 2 hours for Murfreesboro police to show up and take a report. When one officer approached his car, Rose said he just used hand sanitizer.
She said, well, it smells very strong of alcohol. And I said, well, it's the sanitizer here. You're welcome to it.
Rose says he told officers that he doesn't drink, but they asked him to step out of the car. You can see in this dash cam video, Rose walking in his normal stride multiple times around the vehicle. The officer writing that he noticed at one point Rose swaying for balance.
I've had problems with my balance and various issues and with my eyes since I was born.
Rose says he told the officers of his eye and balance problems, but never had a thorough diagnosis. The officer asking him to consent to a field sobriety test.
I would, but I'd rather do a breathalyzer.
Rose believing the breathalyzer test would immediately clear him, but the Murfreesboro Police Department doesn't use breathalyzers, only blood draws for DUI incidents, and that's not uncommon. Fox 17 News confirming at least half of the other local law enforcement agencies we contacted only use blood draws.
What was going through your head when you did the field sobriety test?
Well, I was very nervous. I was very scared because obviously I couldn't maintain my balance.
But attempting to walk a toe-to-toe straight line, holding his leg up and not jerking his eyes, all proving to be difficult. Officers cuffing Rose and charging him with driving under the influence.
When I ran you through the field sobriety test, you failed all 3 of them.
Rose says the officers didn't consider that there wasn't any alcohol on his breath, that his eyes weren't bloodshot, and that he held a coherent conversation with the officer the entire way to the jail.
So how will this affect my record?
Well, that's what I was going to say, yeah. So the blood draw is what's really important.
These are Rose's blood test results. You could see here he tested negative for any trace of alcohol or drugs in his system. And I could tell you about 8 months after these results came in, a judge finally had mercy on him.
They dismissed all the charges.
The court also expunged his record, but Rose says he's still enduring the repercussions more than a year later.
It just seems like the nightmare that will never end.
Rose is still unable to drive since he was dropped from his insurance company. Other auto insurers quoted him astronomical rates despite his expunged DUI charge. I reached out to consumer protection attorney Mark Mailman, who says background check companies often don't use updated records.
Many times these companies rely on third-party vendors that house information and it's old, or they themselves may house or collect information and it's just old stale data that's not being updated regularly.
Rose tells me he's still hoping to take legal action, but in Tennessee, officers have qualified immunity, which protects them from individual liability. As far as a false arrest conviction, Rose would likely have to prove that the officers had no probable cause to charge him, potentially difficult given the field test that followed an accident. Murfreesboro police sent us this statement reading, "This is a perfect example of how the system should work. Blood was examined by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, which determined that Mr. Rose was not impaired. The charges were dismissed and his record expunged." But the reality of the impact is far from that simple.
It's been an ongoing struggle. There's times when I'm alone, I'll cry. You know, I'm still not over this.
After the arrest, doctors diagnosed Rose with both ataxia, which is a balance disorder, and documented that his eyes do have difficulty in tracking smoothly. Currently, he has found an overnight job that he can walk to, but that also means he's unable to teach the low-cost English classes during the day. And I can tell you, Rose is also reaching out to background check company after background check company to make sure his DUI charge does not show up. I'm Kelly Avellino for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Kelly, thank you. Do want to bring you a breaking news when it comes to our steer clear traffic update. We are showing you I-24 at Bell Road, a sports car that white
isn't helping you with your car. How do you think they're going to deal with you about your injuries? We can help. Call us at 615-242-9000.
Beverly Hills office, you can do it at your own house. And it's available today at 51% off. Go to asadeals.com.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
Thanks for coming back on the show. I feel like
me.
it was just yesterday you were on here.
Yeah, I mean, so much has went on since I last talked to you, but yes, I mean, time is going by quickly. Yeah. But then, you know, it's always great to talk to you, so it feels like home again.
Well,
this is our third time.
You were constantly doing more, though, Tiffany.
Yes.
We got to talk about your new single, which I know is getting added everywhere. You know, and you launched it right before Christmas with Angels All Around. I love this song because with your voice and the piano, it really lets your voice shine. How did you come up with this?
This was